All right, let me welcome.
Sudhanshu, can we start?
Yes, yes, Paddy. Let's go ahead.
One second.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Great. Okay, we can then start. Yeah, so there are 8 participants, right?
7, I think.
7 or 8. I mean, let me just read on the names, just see if whoever is present. Is Akash? Yeah, Akash Sarkar is there. Rishav? Yeah, and Isha? Yeah. Sushant?
Yes.
Okay. Nikunj? Devanshu? Okay. Sarvya? Swargya or Sarvya? How do you? Okay. And Abhirup is there? Okay, so Abhirup is not joined, correct? Okay, great. Okay, so it's 7. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just tell you the basic format and rules of this GI1, right? Uh, so we'll just start with one by one. So we'll just start with your basic introduction, right? So how it works is each of you take couple of minutes, stick to the time limit which you have given, right? And maybe in the first minute, you can tell a brief about yourself, your background, which specialization you've applied to, where are you working, etc. Just keep it very brief because I've got all of your forms and it's very detailed, right? And maybe another 30, 40 seconds, you can tell one thing which is kind of interesting about you. Basically, one point, which kind of makes you unique or, makes me want to discuss, 10, 15 minutes with you, saying that, "Oh, okay, fine, I find this interesting and unique about this candidate, something like that. What's your selling point, basically? So, that's how it's going to work. You guys take some 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes for each participant, right? And so in GI1, typically what happens is like you'll be given an order in which you'll be seated, right? So it's even though it's virtual, let's stick to that order. So the order, everyone can note it down. So it'll be Akash Sarkar, followed by Rishav, followed by Isha, then Sushant, then Nikunj, Debanshu, Sargya, and that's it. 7 people, right? We are clear. So we'll just whatever questions etc. is there. We'll just follow this order. Yeah. Great. Okay. Fine. We'll start from Akash. Yeah.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah. Clear.
Yeah. So should I start?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, hi, I'm Akash Sarkar. I'm 23. I graduated in 2022. Since then I've worked in a startup, in an FMCG startup, and I worked there for about 14, 15 months. And I left in 24, in the beginning of 24. And yeah, since then, I've been actually just looking for a job and in the meanwhile, also preparing for my exams. Apart from that, one thing in terms of something that makes me unique is the experiences I've had at my startup. The reason actually I joined this particular startup, which is called Bico, is because it offered me a lot of responsibility at the very beginning of my career. Now, this responsibility included, dabbling in a lot of different areas of a startup. My stream of choice is marketing. I was looking for a role in marketing, but it's something that actually gave me a lot of exposure into the other facets of a business, which is operations, customer success, and a lot more. And in my time there, I led a team of 4 people, and we saw a growth of in revenue in our channel, which was D2C, from about 2.5 to 3 lakh per month, right, to 1.8 crore, right, just before I left. So that is one thing that I achieved during my work, and that is something that I would like to think of as unique, uh, something that I've achieved so early on in my career. So that's basically about it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Akash. Okay, we'll move to Rishabh.
Am I audible?
Yeah, but your very feeble voice is not loud.
Just is it better now?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Rishabh. Yeah.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I am Rishabh. I am from Kolkata and I graduated from Jadavpur University. After that, I have worked in Amazon for close to 21 months in the payments domain. Uh, I left around April to May, around that time, and post that I have been preparing for the management exams. Coming on to my work experience, as I mentioned, I worked in the payments domain. So one of the notable projects which I dealt with was launching a payment processor in the Chile and the Colombia market. The reason I think that is one of the notable things based on my experience of 21 was obviously the tech sides were there, but apart from that, I got to interact with a lot of different stakeholders, tech teams, product teams. Apart from that, since it was payments, so there were different stakeholders related to finance, tax, and everything, and it was a different country altogether. So there were different sets of norms and rules. So this was a brief about the one of the projects which I worked on in Amazon. Apart from that, if I have to say something about myself apart from the work front, one of the things I can say in my hobbies is basically I like cricket and some amount of cooking also. Apart from that, something if I have to add on the distinguishing factor, like it is inclusive of both my college as well as my work age, that I enjoy, enjoy working with multiple stakeholders or various opinions, whether it is the work ex part which I mentioned just now, where it dealt with the product, finance, and other domains different from the tech. And if I have to migrate to the college part, then we have different sorts of clubs and activities, and there also we had to deal with sponsorships, logistics, event management, and
Okay.
etc. So that is one of the areas which I feel that I have a good grasp on and I would like to build on it. That's it.
So just tell me one thing, Rishabh. Why do you like working with multiple stakeholders? What's special about it?
So regarding multiple stakeholders, firstly, it is not that I am restricted to one domain. Like if I have to be specific about my work part, I was not very much like right from the start. I enjoyed the administrative part of things where it is more into the managerial side, where you are getting a brief overview of everything which is happening instead of just one particular cog in the entire wheel.
Hey, what's
So
administrative? What's managerial? I'm not able to understand that.
okay, so by administrative managerial, I mean, so let's say if I have to say about the work part, there is this one technical part where you are being assigned particular task and you work on it. And apart from that, there is the other parts. Let's say as a manager, when someone is leading a project, then he has to see other items also. What are the deadlines? What are the different stakeholders? And how, because every project is
No,
dependent.
that's a job profile, but
Yeah.
I want to understand, why do you like doing that? See, there are two things. One is that's a job profile, that's a job given to you. You have to do it. You're getting salary, you're getting paid for it, and you're doing it.
Mhm.
But you said you like working with stakeholders, etc. So I just want to understand what is so great working with multiple stakeholders that you love doing it.
Yeah, I think it was coming more into naturally to me. Like, if I have to say from my college experience also, we were never used to deal with a particular one particular thing that you focus on this particular domain. It was more into like varied things. One of the guy does this, and let's help him in that sector also. So like this, we got an exposure of every of the areas.
Well,
Um,
that's something everyone in, has done graduation, they used to do that, right?
I believe yes. I believe
Not
yes.
unique, right? So, but I just want to understand what's so special or something when did you find this, or love or passion for, working with multi-stakeholder kind of setup or something,
Yep, yep. So by special, I feel that like it is just I am just naturally inclined to that, I would say, because in the work front, it has just been one or two examples where I could see that exposure, and it
Mhm.
was primarily most in the like undergraduation days from where I noticed this thing inside me.
Okay, okay. And you love playing cricket?
Yes, playing and watching both.
Okay. So you're a batsman, you're a bowler. What's your thing?
Uh, I generally am a bowler, but
Hmm.
yeah, focused on that only.
Okay. So why do you think India has lost the test tour against Australia? What happened? What went wrong? If you want to pick just one thing.
I think if I have to pick just one thing, I would say the batting. The reason being, if you see our top order, let's say the top five, six batsmen, it has been a repeated pattern that we, in the first innings, let's say, it has always been a low score under 200. There, I was seeing a stat. It was like of the 8 innings which India has played, 7 of the 8, we haven't been able to bat 80 overs. And the tour of Australia, which you were saying, it's Test cricket, and that relies on the thing that the first innings counts a lot because that is the setup. So that is one of the areas I feel that the bowling front, anyways, the last time also, this time also, it has been okay, but unless runs on the board, no matter how many times you take 10
If you want to
wickets.
pick one person for this loss, who would that be?
I
You want
won't
to
single
put
out
the
any one person.
No, you have to then, if you're forced to make the choice. In when you get into MBA, etc., you're forced to make some choices, right?
Yep.
You can't be diplomatic every time. You just want to pick one person, saying that,
I feel like if we single out one person, that will be in a way not right because I can give an
no,
example.
no, I'm forcing you to take it. So let's say
Okay.
at a gunpoint, you've been asked to make this decision. It's like,
Uh,
what do you do?
I would say the it will start with the captain of the team, the previous captain Rohit Sharma. That was my thought process.
He's a current captain also, right?
Yeah, but he was replaced after the fourth test, and Jasprit Bumrah came in as his
Okay.
replacement.
Okay. So it's Rohit Sharma. Okay, great. Does any of you else, disagree with this choice? It's an open forum. Isha, Sushant, Akash, Nikon, Devanshu. Okay. Looks like everyone's raising hand. So who wants to go? Oh, Nikunj. Okay.
Good evening to the panel and everyone on the dais. I disagree on this because I feel the sample size to judge a person like Rohit Sharma on the basis of 5 test matches, let's say the test matches in Australia and the one before it in New Zealand, not in New Zealand, against New Zealand in India. It's also because of the fact that we are currently in a transition phase wherein our
No, no.
so-called
Forget about previous, past, future, etc. Just basis on these 5 matches, I just asked them who's you want to pick one person who's responsible for this loss. Who would that be? That's it.
I
And
think
we're
it has
talking
to be
about
Virat
the
Kohli
history
then.
of. You
Virat
will pick
Kohli.
Virat Kohli. That's it,
Virat
right?
Kohli.
Okay, great. And your reason would be because of batting performance or something.
Because of same repeated mistakes and the
Okay.
mode of dismissal being similar.
Okay. Anyone else? Rishabh? Sorry. Anyone else? Sushant? Do you have any? Yeah, if you have no comments, it's okay. It's not a.
I'll agree with Nikunj actually. So repeated mistakes, and as a senior guy, you have to lead the team throughout in a
Okay,
series like BJT. So
great. Devanshu, do you have?
Yeah, I believe that it's more of a fault from the selector side. So
No,
Ajit
no, one
Agarwal.
person. I just want to name.
I'll blame Ajit Agarkar for that. He must
Sorry?
have assessed Ajit Agarkar, the
Okay,
primary selector
selected.
of the team.
Wonderful. Okay. So, yeah,
He made the incorrect assessment of the entire team. That's what I feel.
great. Blame the CEO. Wonderful. Okay. Uh, I'm pronouncing your name right, correct? How do you spell it out?
Yes,
Sorry.
it's. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Sir, it's Sarvagya.
Sarfagya. Okay. What does it mean?
Sir, it means someone who knows everything, but I can assure
Oh,
you that's not the case.
oh, okay. We'll see that. Okay. So, what's your take?
Sir, I don't really follow cricket as such, so but I would say uh, it's very hard to point it out to a single person, even it's a team sport. So I can't really point out any names as of now.
Okay, good. We'll go back to Isha.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Excuse me for my voice. I'm having a bit of sore throat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there across the country. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start with myself. So, I'm a girl from Mumbai. I'm born and raised in Mumbai, proper Mumbaikar.
Isha, sorry. So we're just in that cricketing question, so we'll just start with that. Do you
Okay.
have anything you want to say about the cricket? Do you follow cricket or something?
I don't really follow cricket, and I don't even
Okay.
have a lot of interest in it.
Then it's
But
okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So I think we've got multiple opinions and all. And Akash, you had told something.
Yeah, I think I don't particularly disagree with Rishabh because if you see the first test match when Jasprit Bumrah was at the helm, we
Hmm.
won and we won pretty convincingly with everyone performing pretty well.
Hmm.
But since Rohit Sharma came into the side, he actually the entire batting lineup got rejigged, right, to fit himself in some place, in
Hmm.
some way,
Okay.
just for the sake of it. And that is where I think we lost it. By the time he actually stepped down and gave Jasprit Bumrah the reins again, it was too late. There was nothing to salvage at that point. So it seems in some way it was, I don't know, you should leave the game before the game leaves you or something.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Great. Okay. Fine. Okay. Thanks, Rishabh. Thank you, everyone. Now we'll move to Isha. Yeah, Isha, back to you.
Yeah. So to tell about myself, I have completed my graduation, that is BTech in Electrical Engineering from Sardar Patel College, so which shares the same campus as SPJIMR in Bombay. I have been working in TVS Motor Company for over 2 years as a quality engineer in electric vehicle department. So my work actually comprised everything from, procuring the electrical and electronic items to testing it to the delivery of the final product, that is the sales and service side. So hence I have chosen supply chain management and operation as my specialization to do MBA. Other than that, as Rishabh mentioned, I also would like to say that I am also a people's person. Right from arranging and organizing several fests in college to handling a multi-stakeholder department during my corporate stint. Sorry. I have always enjoyed working around people. I consider myself as an ambivert, which is a social introvert. So I love socializing with people, but I'm not the person at I may not be the person at the front, person at the front face of the group always. Other than that, for my hobbies, I enjoy trekking and going camping. I also enjoy playing board games a lot. So recently, I developed a hobby. So I stay in Bangalore, and as you can say, as I mentioned, that I love socializing. I had tried out attending several workshops and events which occur around Bangalore. So that is where I picked up the hobby of board gaming. I have also been a participant at the national level board game meetup that happens. For example, MeepleCon, which was conducted very recently, that is similar as Comic Con for the other fans
What's your
as well.
favorite board game?
My favorite board game is Azul. So as you know,
Azul.
Azul comes in different expansions as well. So from
Hmm.
that, I like Other than the base Azul, I enjoy more the expansions more than that.
Okay, okay. So what's great about board games? Why do you like it?
So I'll tell you very frankly. So some of the board games, for example, the expansions of Azul and even other board games can take a tremendous time to, for the entire gameplay to occur. So as you know that all of us will mostly spend our weekends scrolling through Instagram reels or aimlessly scrolling through YouTube or simply spending time over Netflix or Hotstar. Playing board games and making it a habit has really helped me stay away from my mobile phone, and I have spent around 6 to 8 hours away from my mobile phone not thinking about anything else, and you are completely, for that moment of time, you're completely immersed in that particular activity, and it really helps as to have a digital detox over the weekend.
Okay. So why is digital detox important? Why is
So
it bad?
as
Why is digital bad?
Yeah, because as we all know, there is a very popular term brain rot coming these days, which happens due to, aimlessly scrolling through Instagram. You,
Hmm.
हम लोग एक reel देख लेते हैं, we like it, then we keep on scrolling and boom, 3 hours of pure day are just gone like that. And
Hmm.
you simply don't get anything out of it. And you are neither happy at the end of the day, you have neither learned anything at the end of the day, anything substantial. Okay, you get tips and bits of information in the reel, but that's not very substantial, so to say.
Okay.
But other than that,
So
if you go out, you
understood.
meet different people,
I
you can
understood.
network
I
with
got your
different
point.
people.
But let's say there's a situation in which there's a digital marketing guy. I think we have a couple of digital marketing folks with us, right? Whose
Yes.
only job is to hook you into those platform. Make you spend more time. You measure all those engagements, etc. Right?
Hmm.
And you do that so people come there, stay in the platform, watch your ads, and they buy your product. So your factory runs. There's a big cycle of economy in that. So do you
Yes,
think
sir.
all these digital marketeers are at fault, or what they're doing is not ethical? Because
No, sir.
their job is to drive engagement.
No,
So
sir.
what
They are
makes
definitely
feel
not.
like
They are
mindless
definitely not
scrolling
at
that's
fault.
driving
They are.
engagement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. They are. See, anyone doing a job, we have to. It's their job to engage us, but it's not. It's our job to know when to stop and know when to get out of it.
Okay. No, but if they stop doing it, then there is no problem, right?
So why would they stop doing it?
So that you can play more board games.
No, sir. I am happy to scroll on Instagram for 30 to 45 minutes, but I'm certainly not happy to scroll Instagram beyond that
No,
because it's
my
harmful
question
for
is
me and
no, no,
again.
my question is just hold on for a second. My question is, we all scroll for 10-15 minutes, right? But there is an algorithm which is written, which is in place for you to stay in the platform for about an hour or couple of hours, right? And there are people who do that, and which means you will be exposed to more ads, the higher frequency, right? Which increases your propensity to buy, typical marketing funnel. So do you think those people, those marketeers, or whoever is behind those, do you think they are doing something which is not ethical or which is not good for the society in the long run? What's your take on that? How do you see this problem?
So, sir, I guess if you think about it, this could be a problem in the long run. But as we all know that businesses, as the digital age booming up, marketing has shifted from organic advertisement and offline modes of marketing to the online modes of marketing since it's the most accessible. So yeah, in order for businesses to flourish, it's very important. And to talk about the ethicalness of the to argue whether this is ethical or not. I don't think there is unethical into it, but unethical in the marketeers to do it. But from a customer standpoint, but from a consumer standpoint, I should know that when should I stop looking at it, no matter how engaging is it, because I feel discipline in anybody's life is very much necessary.
Okay. Uh, okay. Devanshu, what's your take on this question? Do you agree with what Isha says, or do you have a different opinion on this?
To a lot of extent, I agree with her. So I don't have much difference of opinion.
Okay. So yes. So if you want to summarize what Isha said in the 30 seconds or something, how would you describe it?
Okay, so she was in favor of online games, and she related her experience with respect to her using Instagram. And then the question came that with respect to ads, uh, ads will pop up, and people might get attracted to them to quite some extent by virtue of these ads.
Okay.
Devanshu, just to clear, I mentioned board gaming as an offline event where you go outside, you meet people in board gaming cafes and clubs so that you are entirely away from the
Okay.
digital media.
Okay, just one second. So, Nikunj, is there any disconnect between what Devanshu has summarized and what was Isha's point of view?
I think Isha was more focused towards or heavily bent towards how online games or anything that is digitalized is not the best in our interest. But Devanshu more or less just put it in brief, talking about what Isha actually meant when she talked about what's happening on the online space about gaming and everything that there has to exist.
Okay, so you're saying both of them have similar points of view, or is there any disconnect?
No, the disconnect here is that Isha's mental question was more heavily bent towards how offline realm is more important and how digital space is, in fact, it's more of a bane than boon. But Devanshu was more focused towards how, or rather, what Isha had talked about on the online, on the online space. So it
Okay,
was basically Devanshu talking about just online aspect, but Isha was more heavily bent towards the offline realm.
okay, okay. Thank you. Thanks, Nikunj. Okay, thanks, Devanshu. Thank you, Isha. Okay, Isha, before I move on, just one question to you. You have an electrical engineering background, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so do you remember any of the concepts from your grad days? Also, since you
Uh,
work related to electrical engineering in field.
so actually, I am from a very famous COVID batch where we spent 2 of the 4 years in
So
at
you
home in
didn't,
the online lectures. So
okay?
yeah, but so my degree, even though it was electrical engineering, I in my corporate career as well as the subjects which we actually got to attend more majorly consisted of the electronics part of it.
No, but it's called electrical engineering.
It's called electrical engineering,
Yeah,
but
but you did electronics.
no. My work was mainly associated with
No, no.
electronics.
What was your graduation on? Electrical
My
engineering.
graduation was in electrical
So you
engineering.
had topics on electrical engineering. You're
Yes, correct.
correct. Okay. Do you know what is right hand thumb rule?
Huh.
Sorry?
So,
Isha,
so yes,
sorry,
sir.
sorry to interrupt, but why would you bring COVID batch? Are you wanting to justify, the point that you could not
Hmm.
study because it was COVID?
Uh, to be honest, I'll not say this in front of the interviewer, but to be honest, in front of you,
It is
most
in
of
the
the
front. It is in the front of the interview only. We are not creating a joke out of this, group interview.
yes, sir. So actually, the majority subjects that come in electrical engineering
So
are electrical machines.
just to
Uh,
be, just to be Isha very clear, if you are not to say something in the interview, do not say that in the mock GI also. Okay? Yeah, please continue.
yes, sir. Yeah. So okay, so I remember certain subjects from my course, from which my uh, favorite were signals and systems. Yeah, signals and
Oh,
systems, power electronics.
so signals and systems. Okay. Okay. So you are aware of Fourier transform, Laplace transforms,
Yes,
etc.
sir. Yes,
Why
sir.
do we use Fourier transform in the first place?
So actually, Fourier transform, that I don't remember it entirely, but as far as I remember, Fourier transform is used to convert complicated electrical circuits to a network problem which are easier to solve using mathematical methods.
No, that's not why you use it for. Okay, fine.
What is Isha? What is a power diode?
Power diode is the diode with a higher voltage rating. Is the usual.
Diode with power.
No, sir. There are diodes and then there are power diodes. We call the diodes which are with a rating of higher voltage as power diodes.
You mentioned that you were more into electronics, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me?
My work was related to more of electronics.
Okay. What can you tell me? What is a Zener diode?
Zener diode is the diode which works on reverse potential.
Okay, what does
So
that
if a if a diode is has a positive in the anode and negative in the cathode, it will work as a closed circuit. And similarly, Zener diode will act in the opposite manner, the reverse.
But what is the point of acting in the opposite direction? What is the use of a Zener diode?
Yeah, that is used for short, so there is a breakdown potential in the Zener diode. If a particular, and that breakdown potential is usually the threshold potential, which is above the required potential. So if I want to stop the circuit working and protect the circuits from working at higher voltages or damage, or to prevent the circuit from having any damage, we use the Zener diode.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move. We'll move to Sushant. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, clear.
So, hi everyone. Hi to the panel members. So, for starters, my name is Sushant Singh, not Rajput, and I am from Agra, Uttar Pradesh. And I have spent most of my childhood in Agra only. Then I did my graduation. I completed my graduation in 2021. I did my graduation in electronics and communication engineering. Then soon after graduation, I joined startup, not startup, I would say a small company as a Java developer, because in graduation I basically found my interest in more inclined towards Java. So for 2 years I worked for the company named EGN Communications Limited in Pune, and then after that I joined a bank from a bank which is in UK, a Lloyd's Bank. So currently I'm working there as a Java developer only. And talking about a unique thing, so I believe that I'm made up of the places I've been to and the person and the people I've met. So starting from the childhood, my father has had the uh, nature. He had a job of transfer job. He works in railways. So I have spent my childhood in multiple places across Uttar Pradesh, like Prayagraj, Agra, Jhansi, Mathura. And then I did my graduation from Shimla. I learned about Himachal culture there. Then EGAIN was located in Pune, as I said. Then my current company is in Hyderabad, so right now I'm living with Telugu people. So I have a very extrovert personality. I like interacting with new people and learning about their cultures. Also, I have a pretty good extracurricular profile. So right from my childhood, I have been into sports. I used to play badminton a lot in my school time. Then I recently participated in a city level competition, swimming competition in Hyderabad as well, in which I won gold medal and silver medal in two events respectively. And then I also enjoy singing. So I believe I have basically I love challenges. Whatever is challenging to me, I like to step in. Like one strongest example being in school time, I had a very poor communication skills, but so I decided to step up myself, and in college I continuously participated in debate competitions and all, and so yeah, I started novels and all to basically build another hobby and to improve myself.
Okay. Susan, one question to you. Why do you want to do MBA? Looks like you are good at so many things, you know.
Yeah,
Why,
so
why do you think MBA will help you?
yeah, so I chose the specialization in information management because I want to be in my
No, no, I
industry
asked
only.
why MBA first?
Okay,
You
okay.
know, the specialization comes next, you know. First
Okay,
of all,
so
what's your purpose? Why do you want to do MBA? What motivates you, or
yeah,
give me the instance when did you find that, you know, I want to do MBA, this is going to complement my skills or whatever it is.
yeah,
Why do you
yeah.
want to do
So
it?
so basically I worked for two organizations. One is a small company and one is a multinational company. The one common thing which I found there, which I noticed there, which caused me a little discomfort as well. I found many technical gaps between the management and the developers working at the root level, which has caused me to work over the nights, not even in just the startup, in the current company as well. So this basically motivated me to, I want to be in a position to take decisions now. Like in my current company, I am pretty close to my product owner. So I want to
What kind
be in
of
that position.
decisions?
And so as I said, product owner. So what product owner roles and responsibilities are? So basically, I'll own the product. I'll be the one who will basically outside demands. I'll be the one who will be connecting with my technical teams to get to know how or like if there's a particular work that needs to be done. So I'll be the one who will be connecting with my technical teams and sitting down and making a deadline
Yeah.
for it.
So in your current organization, who is doing that?
So we have Siddha, like the person
Hey,
is
I don't
here
want
in
to know the
Hyderabad.
person. I'm saying, what is the background of the person who's doing it?
He is a technical background person from technical background only. But since it's
Hmm.
an MNC, so the product owner is not only one. So we have multiple layers of management. So the particular thing about technical gaps, I said it's not about this person that we are just talking about now.
No,
It
no.
goes.
Prashant, I think you're confusing and getting digressed and distracted a lot. Just answer me in very plain terms, saying that, you know, what motivates you to do MBA, right? You're getting too much into a very particular minute role which is in an organization, you know, which might not exist even after 3 4 years for all you know, right?
Yeah.
So so that can't be a motivation, saying that, you know, I find some technical gap here in my company, I want to replace it, so I want to do MBA. I wrote CAT, I'm applying for IM or something, right? So what if, you know, let's say
No, but
product owner related roles are not available post MBA? What would you do? Because you're being very, very, you know, getting into detail and being very specific on one small instant, and then you're, you know, putting all your energies into, you know, doing MBA, etc., and all those things.
yeah, actually, I was talking, just giving example of my current company. But if you look, the specialization that general management, which goes into IT. So the basic idea is that you will be managing a team and leading the product, right? So
Why do you want to manage team? Why can't you work alone? What's wrong in that?
now there's nothing wrong in working along. I enjoy my profile right now as well, but I want to basically I want to step up and explore. I would say because working alone, this particular thing has how should I put it?
Okay, let me ask you this question, Shashank. You know, whatever you're earning right now, let's say post MBA, it's gonna be 5x or 6x of it, right? Is that a strong motivation for you to do MBA?
You said whatever I am earning.
Yeah, whatever is your paycheck right now, let's say post MBA, it's gonna be whatever 5 or 6x of it.
I would say
Um,
it's not a strong motivation, but it would be
but
a bit
that's one of the reasons.
plus point. Yeah, one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's
But
also one of the reason, right?
yeah.
Okay, okay, great. Okay. Uh, uh, we'll go to Sarvgya. So okay, you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah. So okay, so is the dream or desire of earning more, having a fattier paycheck, you
Mhm.
know, if people have that as one of the reasons to do MBA, is it right? Is it a good reason to have?
Uh, I don't think so, sir, because given though I have like 3.5 years of experience, I don't think money is what drives you after a certain point in time. It's
No,
the
I'm
it's
saying
the
that's not the first driver. I'm saying, let's say if there are two reasons or three reasons for you, second one could be money, or third one could be money, or first one could be money, whatever be the order, right? So
yeah,
you're saying it should not be the driver.
it should not be the primary driver, I would say. I would say it can be the third or the fourth factor which you should
Okay.
consider.
Okay. So for example, in after MBA, if someone offers you a role which you want to do right now, but they're gonna pay what you're earning, what you're getting right now. They may not pay you those, fancy 35, 40 lakhs or something. Let's say you are doing some 4, 5 lakhs or something after your undergrad. If they offer you that way, will you take it?
Probably no. I won't take it because
Okay.
again, my driver is not money in the like.
No. I'm saying your driver is not money, but which means you will take the role with a lesser pay.
I will.
So you will take a role with a 5, 6 lakhs as a pay per annum.
Yes, ideally, probably they won't be offering that low.
No, I'm
Given
saying don't question that. I'm saying that's the offer
okay,
you have. Will you take it or not?
I will. I'll probably take it. Yes,
You will take that. After
for
paying
the
25
just for
lakhs
the
for
exposure
SPJIMR,
of.
you will take
I'm
up an
sorry.
offer which is of 5 lakhs.
I'm sorry. It's your voice isn't.
No, I'm saying after paying 25 lakhs as fee for SPJIMR, you will take up an offer which is of 5 lakhs per annum. That's what you're saying. But the role is of what you wanted to do.
No.
That's
That's
there.
what I'm saying. I was assuming that it's before doing an MBA. It's not after doing an MBA.
No. After doing MBA.
No, then I would probably take it. No, that's not. Then I wouldn't take that offer.
Okay. Why take it?
I would not take it because when I came to SPGen, when I graduated from SPGen, I'd set up a certain benchmark. Like I have to set this benchmark for myself. No, I have to earn more than this. After this, then I'll go for like what I need to pursue. If it's even if it's less than slightly less than what's the average scale the SPGen offers, I'll go for it, but not so less that I'll just give up on everything. Not so less.
Okay. Okay. We'll go to Nikunj. Nikunj, what's your take on the same question?
For me, I think if you ask me personally, yes, money is a big driver because if you are planning to pursue something by investing that huge an amount, you are planning to get that sort of ROI, return on investment, at the earliest. So I don't think so. Money is not there for the taking because if you intend to do something, you want a return on it. So yes, money is the primary driver.
So why do you want to do MBA, Nikunj?
Because with alongside money, it comes with colleges like SPJN comes credibility, which you would not be able to get even after shelling.
No, I'm not asking
Uh,
which college you want to do or something.
okay,
I'm asking why do you want to do MBA in the first place? Why are
because
you
you
not happy
build
with
the
your current profile or something?
because at the same time there are many other things that an MBA gets you. Let's say a profile shift, you get to build connections in the industry, which otherwise in a normal job would have taken you a longer period of time. So basically, your runway is much steeper, and you get a better time to actually take advantage of the opportunities at hand.
And what's the spec you are applying for, Nikunj?
Finance.
Okay.
Nikunj, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Nikunj. So, Nikunj, you want to pursue further in finance, right?
Right, sir.
So, can you tell me what is the risk-free rate?
Risk-free rate is the rate which the government gives you on your investment. So risk-free rate is a combination of your real rate. So basically, it's a combination of three factors. One is the amount you get for the inflation in a country. Second of all, the amount that you get for deferred consumption. And third of all is I think these are the two factors mainly that compromise
So
composite. Sorry,
if I have to find out the risk-free rate, how do I go about it?
if you have to find out the risk-free rate.
Okay. Yes. In the current
So
time, if I have to get the risk-free rate, what do I do?
one way of finding out the risk-free rate is adding the inflation rate to a country's risk premium.
Country's risk premium. Okay.
Right.
So tell me, what is the inflation rate right now?
Inflation rate in India, the CPI, the consumer price index, stands at around 4.5%, if I am not mistaken, though I'm not sure about the numbers.
You are mistaken.
Okay.
That is
And then,
also not how you calculate risk-free rate.
okay. I'll definitely go back and understand better.
Tell me, how do you calculate cost of debt?
Cost of debt. So it's a basic, okay. So uh, cost of debt is basically the required rate that the investor needs when you are trying to borrow from the market. I think
Borrow from the market. Market can be equity as well as debt. How do you calculate cost of equity?
cost of equity, you can calculate one of the methods, it's CAPM, that is your capital asset pricing model.
Okay.
So you add risk-free rate plus your return on market minus the expected return on equity into the market beta.
What is beta? How do you calculate beta?
Beta is a systematic risk in
How
the
do you,
market.
how do you calculate beta?
I do not remember the calculation for beta.
You don't know beta, you don't know risk-free rate, so you can't calculate cost of equity.
Yes, I will not be able to answer that right now.
Okay. Tell me, how do you calculate goodwill?
There are two ways of calculating goodwill. Firstly, one is acquired goodwill, and the second method is your purchased goodwill. Now, purchased goodwill is the value that you pay over and above the fair price of the product in the market, or let's say the asset in the market. And acquired goodwill is the goodwill that you accumulate over a period of time because of your reputation and your credibility.
Okay, but how do you put credibility in a balance sheet? You can't put alphabets, right? You have to put numbers.
So we always calculate the purchase goodwill.
Okay, so let's say if I have not purchased something, then how do I?
Sir, your assets, I mean the book value of your assets, if they are increasing over a certain period of time, that is the amount that you're accumulating as the goodwill.
No, but the balance sheet will have it at the book value, no? It will not
Right.
have at the appreciated value.
Right.
Correct. That is market value. In the books, you will have the book value. So where is the appreciation coming from?
Sir, can I give it a try if it doesn't sound wrong? I do not know the answer, but I would like to try
Okay, go ahead.
as far as I can remember.
Go ahead.
So if the recoverable value of the asset is more than your carrying value, I think that is what probably I'm just giving a try. I'm not sure about the answer.
Okay, recoverable value. So you are also a CFA, right? So tell me, is it right by accounting standards to inflate the assets in the book? Saying that I have, asset which is book value 10 rupees, I can sell it at 15 rupees. So can I book 5
Okay.
is my, goodwill and inflate the entire asset side?
Sir, I'm not sure about this.
Okay. What is Sharpe's ratio?
Sharpe's ratio is your return on portfolio minus your risk-free rate divided by the standard deviation of the portfolio.
So then you can't calculate Sharpe's ratio also because you don't know risk-free rate.
Yes, but okay. Yes, I am underprepared today. I'll accept that. So I will definitely be brushing upon the concepts that I know.
All right.
Okay. So we'll move to Devanshu. Yeah, Devanshu, go ahead. Start.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Devanshu Banerjee, Currently, I am pursuing my career at ZS Associates. I am working in the generative AI sector. Prior to this, I was working at Tata Steel in the supply chain domain. That was a pre-placement offer that I received from my college, Jadavpur University. I graduated in 2022 in metallurgical engineering. So while at Jadavpur University, I came across one of the seminars hosted by my department, wherein they were focusing about the importance of machine learning and artificial intelligence in the steel sector. So that motivated me to pursue machine learning as a side co-curriculum apart from my academics. I collaborated with a few professors and I published six research papers in the same domain. In quest of pursuing my career in machine learning, I eventually shifted to ZS after a 2 year career at Tata Steel. I belong from a small village in the outskirts of Durgapur, and my family has a rich heritage of hosting 112 years Durga Puja. When it comes to my hobby, I like playing football and cricket, and singing comes to me whenever I like. I love singing at any given stage of my career and life. Thanks.
Okay. Uh, Devan should just tell me one thing which is not in your form, something interesting.
Okay, so when I was studying as an undergraduate student in Kolkata, I it was like a first apartment that I stayed in. So in Durgapur, we used to live in company provided quarters. So we did not have security guards there.
Hmm.
So in that apartment, I saw the security guard and his son living in the basement. So during the day, the security guard used to drive a rickshaw, and his son used to take care of the security guard jobs. He used to come back in the evening, and his son used to study for his board. He was in class 12. He was preparing for class 12 exams. So I volunteered to help him. I tutored him for almost 6 months, and I helped him score 90% plus in the class 12 West Bengal board examinations.
Okay. So what was the good part? Why is it interesting, or why do you feel good about that incident? Or
Because I transferred my knowledge, whatever I had up to my capacity.
Hmm.
I helped someone who was deprived of all the resources that he or his father could not afford.
Okay, great. Okay, that's a good thing, by the way. And now my question is that, why don't you, I think looks like when you told the story, when you narrated the incident or something, I think that you have a certain passion in that field, right? In terms of teaching or something as that. Why don't you take that as a full-time profession? Why don't you go into teaching as a career? Why you want to do MBA, get into corporate? You know, Looks like your passion lies elsewhere, and then you want to pursue a career in exactly different side.
Okay, so I would exactly consider this to be my passion because
Passion or
this is
something
something
you like about, something from your deep down the heart. That's what passion is.
like I can tutor students apart from pursuing a career in some other company as well whenever I'm free. If I have a job up to 7 or 8 in the evening, I can always devote my time to teach children after that or in the weekends whenever I'm free.
Okay. Okay. But will you be happy doing that?
Absolutely, yes. If I'm able to help someone who is in need of that,
No, no. I'm asking, will you be happy, let's say, spending 10, 12 hours in office and then spending 1, 2 hours a week in tutoring? Or just imagine, no? So you don't have to say because it's an interview or something, be very honest and, introspect inside you, right? Saying that, what if I spend 40, 50 hours, tutoring? You can make money also on that. It's like wrong in that. Get into that field so that you will feel good about yourself, and then you will be making money. You will be living a very holistic life. Just picture that for a moment and see how beautiful that is.
no, I don't actually consider that to be a beautiful life. But
What's wrong in
I'm
that? Just tell
always
me
up
what's wrong in
for
that.
there's
What's
there's
bad?
nothing there's nothing wrong in it,
Then
but I don't see myself in that particular path
that's why I'm
in my
asking.
life
What's
right
wrong in that? What's so horrible or what's so bad about it? No, just take 3, 4 seconds. Just imagine that life. Picture that. What's wrong? The incident which you said, that the impact you had on one kid, imagine it will be on 1,000 kids, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, a million kids at some point.
So like I volunteered to tutor that particular kid. And when it comes to scaling
No,
up,
no, let's stay in that picture, let's stay in that picture for a moment. What's wrong?
there's nothing wrong. I just don't imagine myself making money of something that I'm contributing towards the society. I just want to do it for the good of it. So when it comes to earning money, I strictly
That's where
want
all the
to.
startups are. So do you think edtech startups are bad?
No, they're not bad, but they had a passion for it. That's what I'm saying. That I don't have a passion. I
SPJIMR
just
gets 25, 26 lakhs as fee. Do you think my institute, my alma mater is wrong?
absolutely not.
Okay. So then what's bothering you? So edtech is not wrong. MBA school making 25, 30 lakhs out of student, that's not wrong. Then what's wrong?
Like my career goals are not aligned in that particular way.
What are your career goals?
Like I want to get into the business domain. I know that edtechs are a business. Like they are making money out of whatever they are delivering to the society. But
Hmm.
like if I have to go in that path, I have to be an entrepreneur and I have to develop an edtech society of my own. If not, then
You
I'll
want
be
to be
again ending up.
entrepreneur or you want to work in corporate?
I want to work in corporate.
Then where is this entrepreneurial dream coming in?
Like if I have to pursue that career path that you
No,
were
I don't want
mentioning,
to.
right?
I don't want to listen if I have to. I'm asking a simple question. What are your career goals? What do you want to do
I want to pursue a career in corporate.
in corporate? As in, be specific. Career goals are very specific.
Okay,
What
so
kind of
considering
role
my
you want to
current
get
domain, I
into?
want
What
I
domain
want
you
to
want to
pursue
get
my
into?
career in the product management domain.
Let's say there are no product management roles offered in SPJN. Let's say something happens in a couple of years. Let's say product man roles are wiped off. What would you do?
So I'll just take the learnings and I'll go about networking in the social media and I'll find some job. Like if I'm capable enough, if I have the capabilities and the
What kind
knowledge,
of job you will go?
like I want to pursue a career in Microsoft at some point of time in my career. So
Hey, I'm not asking what company, what kind of role. Companies can be anything.
like again, I want to pursue a career in product management.
Okay, so you will not sit for placements. You will go out of SPJN and then you will search for product and then you'll get into it.
If the scenario happens, yes. But the learnings, the experience that I'll have at SPJAN, that will stay with me forever.
Okay. Okay, I have question for okay, Devanshu, just hold on to it. Sargya, do you agree? Do you find Devanshu's last statement credible? Just a yes or no.
No.
Okay. Sushant, just a quick yes or no. Do you find Devanshu's last statement credible? Do you
Yes.
believe him?
Yes.
Yeah, Sushant.
Yes. Yes.
Nay, yes or no. I mean, do you believe his statement?
Yeah, I found this statement credible. Yes, I believe.
You believe. Okay.
Yeah.
Rishabh,
I will disagree. I don't believe it.
you don't believe? Akash?
Yes, sir, I believe it. I agree.
Okay. Isha?
Sir, I like to disagree with his last statement.
Okay, so you don't believe. Okay. And who's left? Nikunj?
Yes, I agree with the statement.
You agree? Okay. Great. So Devanshu, you're 3 on 3. Hmm. Okay. Great. Uh,
Devanshu, just one simple thing. So you're saying that you will stop. You will not get into anything else but product management, right?
That's my primary wish.
No, no, it's not about wishes, no. So if let's say you know product management roles do not come to SPJAN, you will not apply into the other.
Obviously, like with my current expertise that I have, product management is something that I desire. And with
Not answering my question. My question is very simple. Let's say product management roles do not come to campus. Will you apply into the other roles or not?
obviously, sir, because in the due course of the 2 years that I'll have at SPJAN, I'll develop other expertise as well. And based on my likings, I'll apply to those specific domains if product management happens to not come in the campus.
Okay. Now let me go back to everybody and ask. Nikunj, do you think there is a contradiction?
Not really, sir.
Because what he mentioned earlier was that I'm going to sit down and take the placement only in product management. Now he's saying that I'm going
Sir,
to apply into the other domains also.
sir, at times it happens that we may just give in to pressure, but the reality of it is that if we know
I'm
that we
not
are not
talking
getting,
about reality. I'm only talking about two statements. Do not give
if
me.
we talk about the statements, yes, it is a contradiction.
Okay, Akash, what do you feel?
Yes, sir. I think the contradiction is pretty clear because in one case you're actually just giving up on the entire placement process because rightly so you want to do something. You've got your career goals aligned, you want to go somewhere. And in the other case, you're taking the learnings and then actually sitting for the placement process and taking whatever you get.
Sushant, what is your view?
Yeah, I agree with Akash. The contradiction is clear. So I first said yes because of his first statement, and then the statement changed. It came to the college learnings and sitting into the placements.
Okay, Isha.
Um, yes, sir. So what I feel is his primary goal is to enter into Prodman, but what he's trying to say is over the due course of 2 years, he might develop different interests and he might be open to attending other placements as well.
Was there a contradiction or not?
There was a contradiction in his two statements, yes.
Okay, Sarvagit,
Yes, sir, I do believe there was a contradiction there.
Rishabh,
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Sorry, are you asking me, sir?
yes,
Rishabh, yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir, I do believe there is a contradiction. Do you have to give it the reason or just a yes or no?
it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Nikunj. We'll move to Sarv. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
You
so,
said the name of what's the meaning of your name?
Sir, a person who knows everything, who has knowledge of everything.
Okay, you can start now.
Sir, I was born and brought up in Pune. I've been living here like
Can you be a
since.
little louder, Sarv? Yeah.
Okay. Am I good? Am I good now? Is it good?
Yeah.
So, I was born and brought up in Pune. It's been close to 15 plus years. I've been staying in Pune. I did my 10th and 12th from Pune itself. And after 12th, I realized that it's time to get out of Pune. And then I was fortunate enough to go to do my engineering undergrad from BITS Goa, where I did my undergrad in chemical engineering.
So why don't
Then,
you like the city which you grew up? Why do you want to desperately go out of Pune? What's bad?
sir,
It's a good city.
sir, please go on, sir. I interrupted you.
Sorry?
I interrupted you. You were saying something?
No. I'm saying why do you want to go out of Pune? It's a good city. Why do you hate the city so much that you wanted to get out of Pune? It's
It's
time
not
to
that
get out of Pune.
I don't hate the city. It's just that the environment, I was very like I became very familiar with the environment I was staying in. It's like studying in a single room for a very long time, not studying in the balcony or the terrace, something like that. I just
Mm.
wanted to get out of the environment in which I was brought up in. Just wanted to explore how things will change, how my perspectives will change
Okay.
going forward.
So the moment you get into SPJIMR, you will keep shifting hostels every month, or how does it work for you?
No, no. For then, I'll stick to my own room
Okay.
for that.
And once you get into a company, then every year you will change companies because you'll be familiar in about a couple of months with all the employees or your colleagues in the company. And will
No,
you
sir.
keep shifting jobs every now and then?
Uh, Not really, sir. It depends a lot about on the project. It depends on a lot of the peers which you have. Depends on the manager as well. So I've been in this company, the current company, for 3.5 years now. So it has only been because of the projects which I have been getting. That it's very different projects every year. and the manager has been very helpful, very supportive, has been always been motivating me to go pursue ahead, do
Then
something
why do you want to
more.
leave and do MBA?
There was a point which I only felt that technical knowledge was the key to go ahead in life. Everything was about technical. I used to do all the courses and stuff. But there was a project which sort of opened my eyes when I reached out to my manager that, okay, sir, we are facing this problem. We don't know how to get out of it. So he quickly came up with a solution and he was like, okay, then you should do this, apply this method, and you'll be able to go ahead with this. And I was so surprised. I asked him, sir, how can you come up with this so quickly? We have been spending weeks on this. And he said, listen, sir, okay, this is all about the various perspectives which I have. Then I asked him, what does it take to have varied perspective on multiple projects? So it's like you're supposed to have a role which will allow you to see multiple projects and connect those projects. That's where I thought, okay, so this sort of role will only be achievable when I like do a management program. I get into a management program. That's when I decided to go for an MBA.
Okay. What was the problem that you were solving?
So basically, it's a technical problem, but it was about defining the KPIs. For instance, I
How is
used to
defining KPIs a technical problem?
I'll come to that. So defining KPIs in terms of, I had a very narrow vision when I should define KPIs.
You're digressing. What is the problem you're solving?
I wanted to calculate the amount of time the user is spending on the website, the
Correct.
total user journey.
That was your problem statement?
Yes.
And then you worked on it, you were not able to solve it.
Yep.
Now, what was your solution? Why were you not able to solve that problem? Look, straightforward problem.
Right. Thing is, I wasn't able to track where the users are going the most. For me, it was the front page. The main page of the website is usually what I assumed is going to be the primary page where the user will land and then proceed ahead. Right. So in my approach, I took the first page as the landing page was the primary page for me, because I did not get a business understanding of where the users are actually landing. So that was one critical mistake which I was making. Because of that, all the measures were very narrowed down, narrowed down in the funnel.
Okay.
So that critical piece was missing for me.
Got it.
When I switched the starting page, then it made sense for me.
And your manager who had an MBA degree came and told you that look for the first page and then you will be able to solve the problem.
Yes. So change the page as.
And for this reason, you need to do an MBA.
No, sir, it's not just that.
I mean, see, Savya, it looks like a very commonsensical problem. You don't need someone to do some 20, 30 different coursework, spend 2 years MBA, and then come and say that, hey, look, this is the first thing you should see when you're solving this problem, right? It's very straightforward. And now you don't need to have 100 different perspectives to solve this problem. Now,
perfectly.
Because of this, you are getting inspiration saying that, no, look, I also want to do MBA. Look, my boss came here, solved the problem. Now, had I done MBA, I would have also solved this problem, no?
You're perfectly right, sir.
I don't think why you need an MBA to solve this problem in the first place.
Perfectly right, sir. So this was one of the initial problems which I faced. So with time, I realized that okay, you can get through the problems. You need to develop a structure process. You need to get an in-depth understanding of the business. That was all okay. But what comes next is the asking whether what's next. That's the primary question. What's next?
No, Sarvi, I think you're giving different answers. I think when you answered why you want to do MBA or something, you said you had this problem, you're solving it, you're not able to do it. And then your boss had come up, he solved the problem for you. Then you asked him with all the excitement saying that, how did he solve it? Then he said that, to get different perspectives, you need to have MBA. So you're like, okay, fine, I'll do MBA, right?
Right.
This was the thing. Now stick to this construct. Now you're giving me a totally different answer, which is not relevant to what you said.
Okay.
Right? So,
right. So that role, the position which he had, it was not because of the number of experience which he has. He's like just 4 or 5 years senior to me, but he's managing multiple projects at a time. for me, if I spend 4 5 years more, then I won't be able to spend get into multiple projects at a time. Max two or max like three. That's it. But my
Why do you
domain
want to
will.
manage multiple projects?
Sorry, sir.
Why do you want to manage multiple projects? Why can't you work on single project?
So multiple projects because it's my inherent nature to connect dots. Because I believe when you connect dots between
You can
multiple
connect dots in a single project. Why do you want to connect dots in multiple projects?
not as in not taking something from this and transferring it to this. It's about the perspective which you carry. Like for instance,
What
if
is
I can say,
perspective?
so if I have a glass half full, so if I have a glass half full, and someone if I ask someone what do you think on this, they'll say I see the glass half empty. Someone will say I see the glass half full, and someone will say I don't see anything. It's just water in the glass. So this is something which varies across the project, which comes from interacting with the people involved in various projects. I don't believe you can get something like this when you're not involved in a single project. So that's my take on that.
Sarvagya, you mentioned tabla as one of your interests, right?
Right. So,
Can you tell me what is teen tal?
so it's been a long time. I used to play tabla and guitar in like seventh and eighth standard, but I don't recall the specifics. The tal and teen tal and all those things. I don't.
You do not remember any tal.
No, sir. I'm so sorry.
So did you learn tabla?
So I did learn. I did the three basic certifications, but I don't recall the specifics. It's been a while.
Very clearly, we should not do certifications only, right?
You're clearly right, sir. But when I did it a long time ago, I just learned it. But after a point, I didn't find myself doing practicing tabla for a very long time. So I just left it at the basic level.
Why did you mention it in the form?
So I mentioned it as a basic proficiency, immediate proficiency levels,
But
depending on the certification.
this is not even basic, no?
So I don't recall the specifics. That's why.
You mentioned guitar also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me how many chords are there, basic chords?
Uh, this C, this A, this D, this F, and this G. 6 chords.
Only 6.
There's one more chord. Yes, 6. Yes, sir. 6, 7 chords.
6 chords or 7?
Not entirely sure, but I think it's 7 chords.
Okay, 7 chords or 8 chords?
7. I'll stick to 7.
Why will you stick to 7? Thala for a reason.
No, sir. Because I just calculated. I just remember all the chords which I have. So that based on that, I came up with 7.
Okay. All right, Sarvagya.
Okay. Sudhanshu, any more questions for?
So I have, a couple of questions only for people, who are here for information management. Can you please raise your hands? Okay. So Rishav, Debanshu, and Sushant. Let's say that I have a brick and mortar store. You understand brick and mortar, right?
Sir, I don't understand.
No, normal kirana store. You've seen a kirana store, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to fully digitize a kirana store.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have to give me steps how to digitize a kirana store. Okay, how will you go about it? Any of you would want to go can go first.
I can start it.
Go ahead.
And so just before that, one thing. So this brick and mortar store, it is selling products. So when we are saying digitize it, it is just that the shop still exists in the offline mode, just that the products will be sold in, let's say, online mode. Is that?
You have to think and tell me how will you digitize it. You've also seen a Kirana store, right?
Yes, that's true.
So go ahead.
So if you have to sell particular items, it depends on the scale at which the Kirana store is operating. Let's say it is a small Kirana store. Versus it is a medium sized. Uh, we can use online seller platforms for that. Uh, he can act as a merchant, uh, list his products on any particular online seller platform. Let's say Amazon, any e-commerce would work in that sense. That is one way in which he can do it. That is specifically on if you are to share it, just the products part. Number two could be if we are saying that transactions wise, because I am assuming since it is a Kirana store, maybe it is on a traditional site. So it could happen that it is operating in the cash framework right now. So uh, if that is the case, then if we have to digitize the transaction sector, then we can introduce the online systems, whatever is present right now in any of the shops, most of the places, the QR code scanning, and that is there. So these are the two ways which I could think of to digitize it in the form of like either the transaction or this listing of the products. Uh, Third could be that if I'm a seller, let's say I'm only the Kirana store owner and I have to buy certain things. So I can place orders instead of from the local or any of the areas from where I used to get offline goods to shift to completely a online mode of system. It could be a beneficial thing in the sense that the transportation part will be a longer thing. So maybe the quality of the products will be good because initially, let's say I was hoping that I need to buy it within a 1 kilometer range from the supplier. Right now, it could be, let's say, I am in Kolkata. Let me bring it from Delhi or any other place. Maybe the quality of the products will be good. Uh, there is an offside to it also that the price will be increasing, but that is another way to just increase the business operations from the online perspective.
Okay. Yes, Divanshu, Sushant, any of you would want to?
Can I add a point? So, considering our country, India, so the first thing I would do is to digitalize payments. Like in our country, the revolution of digital payments, all of us know how important is that. Secondly, what I would do is to like from my personal experiences, I come from a city, Agra. So I know there are multiple social media pages on Instagram and plus WhatsApp channels as well. So in our today's world where everyone is fond of social media, so I would digitalize that. I would market that shop on social media and for if we are talking to digitalize it completely, I don't have much details in what kind of those apps are, but I do know there are some sales management tool apps. There is one Shopify something. So if we are talking about complete digitalization, but this would come later. The first two things that I would do is digitalize the payments and marketing on social media, local social media, Instagram pages and WhatsApp channels.
Yeah, Devanshu, go ahead.
So first of all, I'll introduce the QR-based payment method, assuming that cash-based transactions had been happening so far. Next, I'll take the delivery system to my hands. So I'll just introduce a platform where users will be able to order their products. This will be restricted to the mere locality itself. And I'll set up a system wherein I'll just try to replicate the Zepto or Blinkit model, from due to which I'll be able to transfer them within a very short period of time. at,
You
at a
will
late.
you will create an app basically.
Yes, it will be an app-based platform.
You will create an app, and how will you have the people in the vicinity install that app?
That we have to market advertisements through social media.
And how will the delivery app? Will you have delivery boys to do it?
Yes.
Okay, so then do you think you will be able to compete with the likes of Zepto and Blinkit?
It will start from a small level, like from my locality, from
But
my.
the point is, will it be profitable? Why will people, why do people go to a Kirana store in the first place if they have Blinkit and Zepto?
Like, I'm talking from a village perspective, like Zepto and Blinkit are not available there.
But you took the example of Blinkit and Zepto.
Like, I want to bring that model here. Like, Zepto and Blinkit are not accessible to remote areas of the country. So if I belong to such a part of the country in
Okay.
which these facilities are not available,
Okay.
so I might introduce this.
All right. Go ahead.
So the app-based platform, and finally, to extend my sales, I might introduce the products as someone mentioned in Amazon and Flipkart.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right.
Yeah. Just yeah. Sudhanshu, any more questions you have? I just have one question.
I have just one question to who's from operations?
Isha.
Isha.
Yes, sir.
Isha, what is EOQ?
Estimate of quantity.
Estimate of quantity. Did you make that? You make that up?
I have not heard of that term or used that term before, but I guessed it to be so.
Okay. Well, next time you should not guess.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, Patty.
Yeah. Akash Sarkar.
Yep. Hi.
I have one question. Right. You mentioned that from a 1.8 lakh sales, it went to about a crore or something, right?
Yeah.
Sales growth. And you had done some digital marketing campaigns, etc., to build that, right? Just tell me, what are the metrics you measured as part of your digital marketing campaign?
So the final metric of
What are the
measurement.
input metrics?
Sorry?
What are the input metrics which you measured?
So the input metrics, the first metric that we measured was CTR. What CTRs we were getting, and the final metric that we measured was ROAS, return on ad spends.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you calculate? What's the formula for that?
So return on ad spends is basically whatever revenue you generated through the digital campaign or your digital efforts divided by whatever amount you spent as advertising cost on various online channels, whichever channel you're using.
And is it revenue or is it net realized margin?
No, it's revenue.
Sure.
So whatever your gross revenue is divided by, so how the platforms calculate it is basically anyone who's clicked on the platform got
No. I'm not
purchased.
talking about platform. I'm talking about as a company. No, first you just give me the metrics. First is CTR, second is ROAS, next is?
Yeah, so CTR, ROAS, and our CAC, customer acquisition cost. So these were the three primary metrics that we measured. And we also, so these are basically the three primary metrics that we measured for all of our digital campaigns.
Don't you measure CPM?
We didn't.
Why not?
And
how would you measure how much cost you're spending? How do you measure efficiency?
Sorry?
How do you measure efficiency of a campaign?
So efficiency of a campaign is measured through the ads that you serve, the CTR that you get, and your customer acquisition cost. If it's low, it's efficient, and you're generating revenue for each. So the frequency that you set for your ad, the number of times that a person is seeing before they actually go ahead and purchase your product through your ad, the lesser the number of times, the lesser the cost that is spent. And
what's the frequency which you have set?
We used to set a frequency of 2. So if you're
For
using
digital?
for digital.
Why 2?
Because we were bleeding a lot of money when we set a frequency of above 5, because if you're using Instagram, you'd see our ads 4 times, 5 times, but you wouldn't particularly be interested. And there were a lot of problems and issues with the way we were marketing, which is when we changed it and we scaled up our revenue.
So if I'm not interested even after watching 5 times,
Yeah,
what makes you think that I'll be interested after watching a couple of times?
correct. Which is why we shifted completely from a very close blinkered interest targeting to a much broader open targeting. Because what we were doing was our tool Meta, it wasn't particularly learning enough, and its learnings weren't rich enough to actually send out ads or serve ads to people who would genuinely be interested in purchasing our products, which is why we were bleeding a lot of money, and we shifted to open targeting, which also as educating served educational purposes as well as actually pushing people to consider purchasing our products.
What's
That
a
is where we
marketing
actually.
funnel? Can you tell me the marketing funnel?
So the marketing funnel is basically awareness. Then there's consideration, intent, interest and intent, and then you go ahead to consideration and actual final purchase.
So which group of consumers did you target? Which set of people
So
did you
so
target?
to give
Were
you a
they high
very
on
brief,
awareness, or
yeah. So
where,
to give
where,
you a
where were
very
they on the
brief,
funnel?
yeah. So to give you a very brief context, the reason we were burning so much money in our campaigns was because we were isolating all of the funnels and creating different ad sets for these funnels, where we are creating a different ad type for the people that we want to make aware of our products. We're creating different ad types for the second part of the funnel, and then we're creating different ad types so we are retargeting to purchasers who we've already targeted, right? That is where we were bleeding a lot of money, and that is from there we actually decided to focus on proper open targeting campaigns, where because we were selling kitchen towel, we were selling a lot of home products, right? And these home products did not require a lot of consideration, or they were very low involvement products, like a lot of FMCG products are. So because they were such low involvement products, it became very tough, or it became very costly an endeavor for us to actually focus on isolating all of these marketing funnel steps and create different ad sets for these steps, which is why we shifted to open
Finally,
targeting.
who did you target?
So we targeted we targeted women above the age of 23 to the age of 45 across India. And we let Meta do its thing, where it gathered learnings and then it allocated budgets basis the learnings it gathered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your CAC? What's your consumer acquisition cost?
Our consumer acquisition cost for our most profitable campaign was 13 rupees.
And what's a benchmark? Is it good or is it bad?
It was high
High as
because
in compared to?
so we have run open targeting campaigns where our consumer acquisition cost had gone down to
What's the
single.
industry benchmark, Akash?
It's very tough to set an industry benchmark in terms of D2C, because it's such a nascent stage. It's still such a nascent stage in India. It's very tough to set a consumer acquisition cost benchmark, and that too because it's so staggered across the FMCG industry itself. You can't particularly set a benchmark. So we've gone from a cost of 95 rupees to 13 rupees, middled to about 45 rupees. That is where we used to hover around.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sudhanshu, any more questions?
Yeah, I just have, one final question. Okay. Yeah, Akash,
Hi.
if you have to select one person, who would that be? If you have to reject one person, who would that be?
Purely objectively basis the answers that we've heard today, if I was to reject someone, I'd reject Isha, and if I was to select someone, I'd select Devanshu.
Okay. All right. Rishabh, go ahead.
Uh, if it is on me for selection, I would go with Akash. And if it is for rejection, I would choose Isha for that.
Okay. Isha, go ahead. You are not audible.
Yeah, so for me, if I have to select, it would be Debanshu. And if I had to reject, as rightly said, I would reject myself.
Okay. You would also reject yourself.
Yeah, because I have known the mistakes that I have made today,
Okay. So
and
then,
I'll definitely learn from these mistakes.
we are anyways not taking your candidature forward because you also you rejected yourself. So then what's the point of it? Okay, Sushant, go ahead.
Yeah, I would accept Akash, and I would reject Devanshu.
Okay. All right. Okay. Nikunj?
Sir, if I had to select, I would select myself and probably reject Sushant.
Okay. So finally somebody who knew that they could select themselves also. Okay. All right. Good, Nikunj. Sarvagya?
So I probably select myself too, and I would reject Devanshu.
Okay. Devanshu?
Select myself. Nikunj actually stole my answer, and I'll reject Isha.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, Paddy, shall we move to the feedback, or do you have questions?
No, questions are done. So
Yeah. So, would you want to go ahead?
yeah, we'll go to the individual feedback also, and then there are some group feedback also from my side.
Nikunj, we will take questions after the feedbacks.
Sir, it's not that, sir. If I may get a chance, please.
Yeah, go
Sir,
ahead.
I think the flow of the event, I mean, introduce yourself and talk about your profile. I mean, what Padmanabha sir had laid forward. I think I didn't get a chance to do that.
No, no, that's okay. That's part of
Okay.
this.
Okay,
You
sure.
got to know about
Okay,
yourself when
okay,
you're answering questions and all. So that's
okay.
fine. That's fair. Right. And if interview doesn't happen, you have to stick to the format to the end or something. It just keeps
Okay,
mixes up, etc. So
okay,
it as part of interview, we try to ensure everyone gets fair chance or
okay.
air time, so that you put your viewpoints, etc.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Yeah, so I'll be very honest and blunt about the feedback. You guys have to take it with pinch of salt or whatever. I'll be very, very honest, right? It's going to be tough, but listen to this so that in your actual interview, you guys will not get rejected, right? I'll be very honest. Apart from Akash, everyone would be rejected in this panel, right? That's a honest feedback. If it were to up to me, if I was sitting in GI1, if I want to. And trust me, in SPJIMR, I was also part of AdCom, etc. I've seen the process. There have been 6, 7 students in GI1. There have been cases where every 100% of the GI1 panel is getting rejected, right? And there have also been cases where the entire GI1 set have been selected for the next round, right? So if someone has the belief saying that, I'm just competing with 6 people, I just want to be in the top 2 or 3 or something, that's not the expectation, right? It's on your individual thing. Either you are selected for GI2 or you're not. It doesn't matter how many of you in that particular GI1 panel will go into next round or not, right? So first have that expectation, be very clear in your mind, right? So I'll come to the reason one by one, but there's one common pattern which I see across the people who are getting rejected is you're not strong on basics. In GI1, the questions which we had put forward to you guys, they are not some, hard questions or strong on technical or something like that. It's a very, very basic questions, right? We didn't give you any case study to solve. Right? These are very basic questions. And the questions were formed on the base of the answers which you guys had given, right? For example, if I want to talk the case of Devanshu, all the questions which I had put, same with Sarvagya also. All the questions which I had asked, you guys tempted me to ask the question, right? those are your points. So when given a chance to, let's say, talk about yourself or, say something interesting about you, that is your selling point. Now, that is where you should, put forward the points on which you are well prepared, right? So, for example, like I'm going to pinpoint also, I'll do this back and forth. For example, Sarvagya said that, I desperately want to move out of Pune. Please don't use such statements, right? You're in a city for about 12, 15 years of your life. You have your childhood in that city. And then suddenly you're 15 years of age and you're like, no, I just want to move out. No, this city is not for me or something. No, that's something you don't have to say it in the, in the first place. That was your first statement. So be very cautious. Be very aware of, what kind of statements you're putting forward. Don't be very casual on your answers or, on the first 2 minutes, I don't think, interview is still not started. It's just, we're just prepping up, we're just warming up. No, nothing. That is going to decide your interview because everyone will get hardly 3 to 4 minutes of airtime. That's it, right? In that, you have to make it to GI2. So every single word, every sentence you speak, it's gold, right? Every minute, every second of airtime you get in GI1 is gold. So you have to use it wisely. So you have to be very careful. You have to rehearse your answers properly, saying that, what is about my city. For example, in my GI1, when I was applying for SPJIMR or something, for about a minute or something, they were asking about the town in which I was from. And since I love the city, I grew up, etc., I could answer. And it's very strange. It's a coincidence. Something the interviewer was also from my town, which I did not expect at all. Right. So any kind of coincidence like this can happen. Right. So be prepared for all the things you guys have written on the form. Right. And so that's number one. And second is this the question of why MBA, why specialization. That's a very basic question that you expect that question to be asked to you, every one of you, right? In GI1. And you have to have sharp answers to it. You can't have very, maybe Sudhanshu can discuss detail on that HR questions session also. But my rule for why MBA question would be like, don't go too specific about it. Don't say that, in my office, one day there was this particular incident happened because this is a common theme of people who are getting rejected. This is a common thing. This is a rejection answer saying that, everyone will say this. I was with my boss, I was working on a problem. Suddenly he helped me solve it. This is a standard textbook answer. And then I got this inspiration saying that, hey, look, I also want to be my boss. He suddenly become my role model. You know, it doesn't work that way. Everyone has done engineering. Everyone has done those, I have done this, Sudhanshu has done this. So no one has felt that inspiration saying a boss saying that, I want to do MBA. Like, I just want to be like this. What a perspective he has. No, we are like, yeah, sitting for 7, 8 o'clock or something. I just want to go home. I just want to prepare for CAT. I want to do all those things. Right? No, so you don't. So those are not the right inspiration or something. So don't give such answers. You will be easily caught in that. Right? So the moment was it Devanshu, right? Gave that answer. Sorry, Sarvagya. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I got this. Then what was the problem? Then the natural question like, ऐसा क्या problem था? मतलब you got this whole inspiration or something. And the problem, then you will say the problem, right? But we all know what kind of problems after your first graduation, first job you guys are working on, right? So then you will be caught in that. So then to support that, then you will make more contradictions to it. Then it's a proper red flag, and then you're just out of the game, right? That's one. Second is again Devanshu, I'm coming to you also. In that, when I asked about something which is very interesting or something, see, it's good to talk about you. It could be genuinity in your answer also, but it has to be thought through. Whatever answer you are giving, always, as a rule, you have at least 2 or 3 follow-up questions to it. What if I ask this? What could be my answer? What if I ask this? What should be my answer? You should always have 2 or 3 follow-up questions for each of your answers, right? So again, one good example about Akash or something. So he had done the digital marketing campaign. So he asked him input metrics, then level two, then level three. Till level two, level three, it's okay. I'm not expecting him to know the entirety of digital marketing or something. At a conceptual level, yes. So he has done his stuff saying that, I did open targeting, then I narrowed it down. The basics were there in place. That's all we want, right? So always have this level two and level three kind of answers and follow-ups into this. And every answer you give, whether you agree or disagree to someone else's opinion, is being noted. You cannot contradict yourself on that, right? That is a basic thing. And one more thing with Evanshu is also that you have to listen to what others are saying, you know, properly, as if you are actually involved in it. When Isha was making a statement on a particular case, etc., you actually you did not brief it properly. You did not summarize it you know properly. Either you did not listen, or there was some issue in terms of your interpretation or something. But that is also a clear red flag, right? And so you should those are those that is one more instance. And again, with Nikunj, again, finance basics. I mean, you have done CFA, right? I mean, those are like strong basics for finance. People in operations, etc., you will be tested on core finance, core ops concepts. It's a don't be surprised saying that, hey, how can they ask me risk-free rate? I mean, they will ask you, because the fellow participants are going to be, CAs or commerce, etc. All your finance backgrounds are going to be very, very similar, right? You'll not have someone with Tata Steel of 4 years experience applying for finance. No. So it's very narrow. It's a silos. It's a separate field in itself. So you will be asked questions in financial modeling, etc. Right? So you have to make that basic strong. And uh, Sushant, again, common comments, but again, your why MBA, why IM answer has to be very precise. It's very confusing. One thing which you guys don't do is that, don't get lost, in your thoughts or something. Don't tell 100 things which doesn't connect to a story, which doesn't make a story. Because Sushant, you started with something and then you went to a different story and then you came back. Then you said that, no, that was not my idea. I wanted to do something else. And then it was like, see, I have to, right? So, well, no, I'm not able to come to a conclusion. What is this guy saying? What is the story he's telling me? What is the story he's selling me? If I don't know what the product you're selling, then I'm not going to buy the product, right? It's basic. So it's your job. It's not my job to, ask you 10 questions to understand your story. It's your job to sell me the story. And you've got only 3 minutes. So you don't have to give hundreds of information, all the things, but you just have to give me those 3, 4 things in a very structured way. That's all I want. Right? And bettering your communication, making it very crisper and sharper, that is a must. Right? Irrespective of the specialization, etc., you apply into, this is a must. Right? I think when is the interview? It's in Feb or Jan?
I think many of them might have it by end of the Jan approximately.
Yeah, so I think there's good amount of time. I think you just have to start prepping on these basics, right? So that's on you. And Isha, see, Isha, thing is that you started well, till the board game part or something. Uh, Isha, you there? Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, till the board game part, etc., I know it was there, I could see, okay, fine, you really are an ambivert. You put some personal. I wanted to ask some questions on that, but it's okay. Couldn't. But don't use such strong terms. I'm an ambivert. All those things. Then they'll go into personality types or something. And SPJIMR, you will have HRs are very good at it. If they ask you 2, 3 questions on personality types, then you're gone, because then for the next 2 minutes you will be talking about introvert, ambivert. Are ambiverts good to do good managers, or extroverts good managers? If they get into that debate, then you're lost. So don't use as a common thing. Don't use jargons. Don't label yourself saying that, hey, I'm an extrovert, I'm an introvert. It's not needed. It's not relevant. As it's
Yes,
not
so
dated,
that's why I
not
actually
relevant.
went on to explain that term so that I don't
No,
get
I'm
any.
saying it is not relevant. See, how does it matter to a interviewer whether you are an introvert, extrovert, or ambivert? How is that a value add point to me? See, everything you say is gonna help me either select or reject you. Simple. That's what an interview is about. Now you make a judgment on the points which you're saying, that whether it's relevant or not. My personality
That's why
type,
I added that
it's not relevant at all.
connect to the socializing part. That's what
No,
I
no, it's
said.
not relevant. You can say that I like socializing, that's why I play board game. That's a normal English term, that's okay. But don't use such personality types or something. So that's one. And yeah, I mean, see, you're an ops, right? So you'll be can expect questions on technicals, Isha, right? Electrical engineering, and this is not a right thing to say, I'm from a COVID batch. What does that mean?
Yes, actually, as Sudhanshu sir correctly pointed out, I might have tried to put it as an excuse, but I'll work on that.
Nee,
And
it's not an excuse. It's a clear red flag. See, what does it tell you? It says that I'm lazy. I did not do my engineering properly. You know, I was playing board games. I didn't do my engineering properly. I'm not good at my academics. Would I want such a student doing MBA at SPJ?
no, sir, but there were actually, if you see to it, apart from IITs and NITs, their colleges were actually facing problems themselves in delivering the lectures for
Yeah,
students
so
to even study.
don't, no,
Yeah,
no.
it was
I'm
a.
not asking for
I
justification.
understand. I understand it's
It's,
not to be
don't say it.
said in that.
It's simple, right? So
Exactly,
you
Isha.
don't
That
have
is
time. You don't have half an hour or 45 minutes there saying that, okay, Isha, tell me, why do you think, that you don't have time for justification. You have only 3 minutes. You just have to finish your pitch in 3 minutes. Now, why do you want to bring up COVID? Because what it makes you look is that you are someone, if you don't know something, you are not willing to accept, you are trying to find excuse, right? That's the first impression people get on you. So you say that, yes, I've done it. It's been 3 years or something. I may not remember. But if you ask me, these are the couple of things, topics which I really loved while doing engineering. And then you can say that, I know these concepts, etc. You can question me on that. That is a fair thing, right? So and also you should be very true to that. You can't say signals and systems. You can't say, I don't know Fourier transform or something, right? And you don't know, you don't know. You can't say some and say that this is Fourier transform, right? So, so be very clear on it. For everyone, undergrad, you pick your favorite topic, and then it's hardly some 5, 6 questions will be there. But see, it's not like every interviewer will be asked on it. But let's say there's a panel which is heavy on operations. Let's say out of 3 panelists, 2 are from supply chain operations background. They'll be interested in asking technical questions, right? So be ready for that, correct? And yeah, so that's on Nisha and Rishabh. Yeah, so Rishabh, again, clarity on why you want to do MBA, or for all the answers, etc. You have to bring in more structure to it,
Okay.
because it's just getting lost. I'm not able to very clearly understand saying that you really know why I want to do IM or something, because on the work experience part, right? Some of the follow-up questions or something, you don't have a clear follow-through answers for that.
Okay.
And what ended up happening is, like, you will not be aware of it, but by the time you are asked the third or fourth question in that sequence, then you will start contradicting yourself.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
what happens is, like, you will forget what was your first answer, and then you will say something which is entirely opposite to your first answer. So that is a common theme. So you have to avoid that. And the role of interviewer is to make sure they will ask you so much questions in deep, so they will try to see whether you are contradicting yourself or not.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I had one question on that.
Hmm.
Uh, so, like, I was not specifically asked about the why MBA in the interview, but I was asked that why do you like, what is so special about managing people that you are like you are interested
That's
in
what I'm
that?
saying. So that I did not ask it out of thin air, right? So
Ex-
you specifically made that statement.
Yes.
So
So,
now,
what could I have
yeah,
done it in a better, like, what should have been a more presentable way?
so avoid that statement only. Again, I'm asking you this. Every statement you make, ask whether it's relevant or not. I mean, the statement you made is I mean, I love managing or like working with multiple stakeholders. It's a
Hmm.
very generic statement. Now it is neither adding value or, it's so what's the
Uh,
point of that statement? What are you trying to say by that statement?
Okay, basically, I was trying to link the reason for why an MBA with the current work profession which I have, because we are having only 2 minutes, or let's say around 2 minutes.
So
So
what
that's
you
what.
have to do is you have to take a pen and paper,
Hmm.
write down those reasons, and
Okay.
see how it is getting linked and what is the one line 1 minute story you are able to make out of it. This is not a 2 3 minute exercise. It will
Yeah.
take you few hours, right?
Okay.
When Sudhanshu and I had prepared for this, etc., during our days, it has taken days,
Okay.
right? Because the story is different.
Okay.
I'm an engineer. I have worked in Airtel and I applied for marketing.
Hmm.
I have a hard time selling SPJIMR that give me a seat in marketing, right?
Got it.
So it's very different, and don't follow any textbook answer saying that I did this work and I loved it, and then I saw my manager, and then don't go into those things. You say that you put your story and say that what are your strengths, what do you love about your job, and and also have a profile or different roles in which post MBA you'll be doing, and then see if you are able to make a connection from it. So you have to make a connection from your current job, current life to what you want to do, let's say 2 3 years down the line, right? Take a
Okay.
look at different profiles, let's say if it's a IM or something, what are the different roles which are being offered, etc. And what are the work they do. For example, what does a product manager do? What does a program manager in Amazon do? What does a category head in Amazon do? So, look at all those profiles, right?
Okay.
What do people at Microsoft do? What do people at startups do? And
Mhm.
then find a connect to your present life and say that, hey, look, this is one gap I feel I have. And I think MBA would help me bridge this gap. So what is your first gap which is unique to Rishabh? So find that and then put that into this why MBA answer. So this why MBA and why specialization goes hand in hand. You find answer for one, the other automatically comes and sits in that block,
Okay. Okay.
right? Yeah.
Uh, Also, like I would like this is just a generic query because we have around 1.5 to 2 minutes too, because that is the main part which will drive the interview forward. So let's say I am actually interested in the Prodman role, and I have done internships and everything. I can't squeeze everything in that 1.5 to 2 minutes that
Pick
I have.
one thing. My formula is simple. Pick one thing.
So, like, let's say my main thing is my professional work experience instead of my internship experience, because that's the
Put
official
that.
one.
Put your professional work experience in that one particular thing. That's it. Talk about that. Talk about one simple project and then talk with passion. And
Mm-hmm.
then connect with what I want to do here. So like I've done all these things. With after MBA, I'll get these skill sets, and then I'll be doing this role couple of years down the line. Make that story in 2 minutes. See, when I say 2 minutes something, if you take 10 20 seconds more or 5 10 seconds more, it's okay.
Okay.
Right? No one's gonna abruptly stop you, like
Mm-hmm.
there's no timer or something. But the reason why I gave 1.5 minutes or something is if in interview you get 3 minutes or something, it will be easier for you. You have
Oh,
a 1.5 minute answer, you can make that into a 3 minute answer. You can't make a 3 minute answer to a 1 minute, right?
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. Sudhanshu, your comments and then we can move to questions.
Yeah, so I think I saw a lot of guessing going around. Okay, everybody's guessing something, whether they know it or not. People do not have slightest of idea, but they're guessing. If you not know something and if you guess it like that, it really comes out very badly. So do not do that. Okay, do not know something, say that I do not know. I'll go back and I'll revise. But even if you're 50% correct, I will think that okay, this person knows something. If you're guessing absolutely randomly, that is not something which is acceptable. So please take care of that. Okay. Number two is, we will all be very different in a session. For example, Paddy in a marketing session will be very different. And in a GI session will be very different. So don't, look at us and be, casual कि ये तो बहुत ही happy going इंसान है. तो इसको देख के मैं casual हो जाऊँ. Okay, do not do that. Okay, so being casual is absolutely not expected. while the conversations were going on with some of the people, the other people were smiling. Why are you doing that? It might get pointed out. Okay. Also, one important thing Patty pointed out is do not mention something which is not necessary. For example, Sushant, can you tell me what is the date of birth of Sushant Singh Rajput? Why did you mention I am Sushant Singh, not Rajput? I can bring a question from there. Why are you putting yourself into trouble unnecessarily? मतलब फैंसी चीजें क्यों करना है भाई, सिंपल रखो ना. फैंसी चीजें करके खुद को फंसाने वाला काम, डोंट डू दैट. Okay, so be very careful of what you are saying. Again, Nikunj, your fin is going to be fin heavy. Okay, तुम्हारा फिन का इंटरव्यू एचआर से नहीं निकलेगा. तुम्हारा फिन का इंटरव्यू के लिए तुम्हें फिन करना पड़ेगा अच्छे से. दैट इज समथिंग विच इज एंटायरली मिसिंग. करेक्ट है ना? सो आई थिंक दैट इज समथिंग विच शुड रियली वर्क ऑन. Start studying. We'll have the finance domain sessions also coming up, but I think start revising. That is something which is very important. Correct. Do not contradict yourself. Think before you speak. Okay, contradict कर रहे हो, do not do that. I also believe one more important element is when the mentor is speaking, do not speak. Okay, while somebody else is speaking, take permission before you speak. Okay, I saw somebody speaking, somebody intervening. Okay, so do not do that. In a group interview setup, you should speak when you're allowed to speak. Okay, so I think these are some of the basic ground rules. However, being said that, I would also say that I'd be empathetic also, to all of you. I think we've started, and therefore it's okay that we've made some mistakes. And very honestly, we also want to be a little brutal because it feels very bad when we do not get converted. So we should feel bad right now than to feel bad back when we do not have that conversion. So be very very critical about the mistakes and make sure you work very hard to convert it. Okay, remember it's one great prestigious school and nobody would want to miss out the opportunity, so everybody is putting their best, so you have to fight it out, right? Let's move to the questions.
So may I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, so right now I'm working at ZS in GenAI. And prior to that, I was in Tata Steel in the supply chain. So how relevant will my previous work experience be from the interview perspective?
I think you're applying to IM, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think your Gen AI CS would be very much, I think it's in line with IM. I don't know what you're doing at Tata Steel. What was in supply chain or something?
Yes, supply chain.
So what I would suggest is that you focus on your first couple of minutes, etc. You talk more about things which are relevant to IM.
Okay.
Right. So you focus on your projects which you are passionate about, working in ZS, in Gen AI, and how it's changing world, and see what are the trends which are happening in Gen AI, and then try to link it up to IM. Say that you have to show that your passion is with what you're currently doing, and it is linking to your specialization, and then talk about that.
Okay.
I would say even you don't have to mention upfront on Tata Steel also.
Okay.
It's okay. You're not hiding anything. You're just telling information which is more relevant. That's it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, Nikunj, go ahead.
Sir, I had this question that you asked, I think, Sushant or Devanshu about knowing about the chords of guitar. But it may so happen that somebody is genuinely interested and passionate about, let's say, a particular sport like cricket, very commonly played and watched in India.
Okay.
But they may not be having an in-depth knowledge. Let's say, what is a white ball? I may be genuinely interested in watching cricket because I love it just for the sport that it is. But in those situations, because I said, okay, fine, I love watching cricket, I may be asked this question the way you asked him. How do I defend it? अगर मुझे नहीं पता if it's a white ball.
But this friend has a certification from Trinity College London.
Okay. But if I put something as my passion, then it's all right if I do not have knowledge about it. Not passion, in fact, hobby.
See, okay. See, I'll answer it very simple, Nikunj. Whatever you're putting on form, whatever you're saying
Okay.
out loud in interview, you will have to have the basics of what it is, right?
Okay.
So it's a given thing. Because when you say I love reading books, because it's a common thing.
Okay.
You say I love reading books. Then you ask, what genre? Then people say non-fiction. And then if you ask, what's the last book which you've read?
Okay.
And then if you think for 2-3 minutes, then you don't love reading books. So then
Okay.
you're just saying for fancy thing, for the society, that he will judge me differently, it's that way, right? So what, when you say hobby, passion, anything, what as an interviewer trying to do is this guy genuine? Does he know what he's talking about? Does he really love cricket? You know, just want to understand more on that, right?
Uh,
It's not a quiz show or something. So
I
when
think
someone asks, I love reading books, I'm definitely going to ask, what's the last book you've read? What did you like about it? Tell me 3 things which you liked about it.
so. Is it a red flag on my form? Because in my form I
Proper red
mentioned
flag.
that
Proper red flag.
no, it's a
Whatever you
different thing that
mentioned, and
okay.
for example, the question which Sudhanshu asked him on tabla, etc., that's a clear red flag.
So basics need to be known. If you
It
put
has to
something on the
be,
form, know
yeah.
it.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
and the question you directed to Akash in context to the metrics that were used in the day-to-day job.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody is in a managerial role of a large company, and they have employees. Again, like you said, okay, fine, you may not be finding somebody with a 4 years work ex who is in a managerial role, but let's say somebody did it. I was involved in a Okay, I will not give a personal example. Say he's at a managerial level and he may not be having that much of an idea about the metrics that we use. And this question comes up. So, in order to come to a definite figure, how were sales increase, profit levels go up? In
Hmm.
those kind of situations, when we are not aware about the inputs and what exactly went on at the back end, then in those kind of scenarios, what
If you
can be
had
done?
put that as your achievement, then you should be aware of it. Simple. If you had put that
But
as part of your achievement, see, I'm not going to ask something. See, where will my questions be based out of? It is based on your form, based on
okay,
what you are
okay,
telling me,
okay,
right? Or else, how will
true,
I know about you? You have said something in the form as a part of interview. I'm just asking questions to know whether you have actually done it or not. Simple. So if you put in a form that, I have done this efficiency project and then I've improved from 37% to 45%, then I'll ask, what all things did you do to improve that 8%? You have to
okay.
answer that. You can't say that, I had a team who was doing it. I mean, I was just getting money for it, just getting paid for it. I had a
But
team of
this is
5 people who
a
was
real
just,
life scenario. अगर
no.
कोई managerial
It's, you have to
position में
know. For
होता है,
example, if you ask the CEO on what led to the growth of the company or something, he will not say that, I don't know, marketing guys did something, sales guy did something, and then the company grow. Nahi, na? So he will say the top level things, right? We put this much money in marketing, our penetration grew by X to Y, and then our sales number grew in this category. This was the category we operated in, and our shares in this category of this brand improved from X to Y. All these things the CEO will be able to answer, correct? Now, he may not be doing it every day,
yeah,
right? He may not be going to the market and doing the selling
yeah,
every day. There's a team
yeah,
who's doing it, but he knows what are the metrics, where he has put his money, what is the capex, what is the balance sheet, what's the financial metrics, etc. He will be aware of it. So in the same way,
okay,
if you are managing or delegating to a 5 or 6 member team, then you should know what
okay,
that guy is doing. No, that's your
okay.
job.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, I have a question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing is there was a small segment regarding something interesting about you. Okay, so I gave an answer which after the narration part finished, I was thinking about it. So I thought about it, and there is this part which I thought that is a better suit for that answer, which was that I can actually bounce back from what we say that like setbacks pretty strong, and I do have data points to support that based on my, let's say, JE or college experience or even the post college experience. Is that a right thing to say, or it won't be a like a good thing? Just to the question that how like something interesting on that front.
So don't you want to add anything to this?
Rishabh, I think I lost you in the middle. Could you please come again?
Okay, so the question, one segment of the question was something interesting about you, and I gave an answer to that during the interview process. But now, when I think about it, I do have a better response for that, which I think is a genuine one because I have data points for that. And the response is basically that I can bounce back from setbacks in life, like pretty strongly, like somehow I can push
Understood.
through again.
What's your question? What's your question?
So my question is this a suitable answer to the question which Paddy sir asked, that something interesting about you? That is the precisely the question.
Okay.
I think okay.
So see, Rishabh, primarily anything interesting about you, uh, actually it can be anything. Primarily it does not have to be backed by data only.
Okay.
Somebody, for example, let's say Sarvagya can say that I am, trained in tabla. I like tabla playing, right? I have, done this level of training. I really believe that this helps balance my, life and brings, harmony in some way. It really helps, bring out creativity in my life. That's also interesting.
Okay, got it.
It's not necessary to, back it with data always. Correct? You can't back anything with data.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. And that was one. And the second question was regarding the Kirana store question, which we were asked at the end. So is there any way I could have answered that better?
There are
Uh,
so many ways that you can answer that better.
yeah, like if you can suggest some ways, like where did I miss out?
First of all, you should start understanding. So, in fact, see, digitization is, does not begin by sort of saying that, okay, let's make everything online. Correct. To effectively digitize, you need to understand first what is the requirement. Correct. I was primarily not looking at, what are the elements that I'm going to put in. I was looking at how are people going to approach that problem. Correct. So how am I going to identify, what is there in the kirana, store? For example, let's say POS can be one thing, right? Right. POS, whether POS is there or not. Okay. How is inventory management happening? Can I digitize inventory management? Right.
Okay.
So effectively, first you identify what are some of the key pieces, or the key, so define the problem better first. Okay. So first thing is to define the problem, saying that, okay, let's say inventory management is one thing. Okay. Let's say customer management is one thing. Correct. How will a kirana store manage their customers? Do you know? They
Uh,
write it in a notebook, right?
yeah.
Correct. So, do you think digitizing it will help?
Definitely.
Do you think that will help, send them reminders saying that, okay, there is a discount going on, please visit?
Yeah.
You had bought your tea approximately 1 month ago. Approximately 1 month has gone, and that is the amount of time that it takes to consume that. So you can send reminders.
If it is 1 month, yes, I can do it.
So that's the point. So you have to think what is the problem first, or how, what's the define the problem statement better. So customer management can be one thing,
Okay.
and vendor management can be one thing. Where does the kirana store get, products from?
I think some local suppliers or anything of that sort.
Financial management can be one thing, correct? Then
Okay.
your inventory management can be one thing.
Basically divided it into different sub problems.
So basically define the problem better, and then you will be able to do it well. Correct? Do you think a kirana store guy really counts the products?
No.
No, right? So even if it is getting stolen, or there is shrinkage, he would never. Start looking at approaching a problem better, defining a problem better. Try to bring some structure into your thought process,
Okay.
right?
Thanks.
Yeah. Any other question?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I wanted to ask the last question that Sudhanshu sir asked, that who is the one person that you will select and one person that you reject. So for the one person that you select is the ideal answer myself. Right.
I mean, I'll tell you what is not
Am
the
I audible?
ideal answer, or I'll tell you what is not the ideal answer is not to reject yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no marks for honesty. Saying that, I am being very honest. I did a bad interview and I accepted. So you reject me, and then the interviewer will not think, okay, fine, let's select her. She's being very honest.
No, that is correct, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when two of the guys said, I guess Nikunj and another guy, he said myself, then Sudhanshu sir commented that at least someone is saying myself. So like is it the ideal answer?
I mean, yeah, of course, you want to select one person that should be me. But
That should mean, yeah,
usually
correct.
what
Why would
happens
I
is there
want
are two
someone else to be selected?
variations to it. I think people in interview, I think Sudhanshu slightly twisted it. Usually they ask, apart from yourself. That's how they start. But
Yes.
he omitted the part just to see how people think,
Yes. So generally they ask you that, but I was also thinking if people would. I was really, so primarily people who have done okay in the interview should at least say, if that's an open-ended question, that I should be selected. Correct? I'm obviously rooting for myself. No, I'm putting in so much effort. I'm putting in so much effort. I'm putting myself first. And it is absolutely a blunder to say that I should be rejected. You will never be selected if you say that I should be rejected. Because if you have such low hopes, then there is nothing that can be done. Yeah. Yeah, Nikunj.
Yeah.
So if this question is asked, who do you think performed well except of you? We have to answer it, right? We cannot say, okay, fine, that I considered myself as the best candidate. If they are asking for a name, we have to answer.
Stick to the construct of the question. If they
Okay.
specifically ask apart from
Okay.
your candidature, you
Okay.
want to pick one, reject one, you have to do it. It's very
I
simple.
have to do it. Okay.
You can't tell that, no,
Okay.
everyone performed bad. I'm not going to pick
Okay.
anyone. I think
Okay.
only I gave the best interview. So
Okay.
please don't do that. It's
Okay.
not needed. It could be
Okay.
true also.
Okay.
You would have had a batch, in which you very well know, I've given the best interview,
Okay.
but don't do that. It's not needed.
And what if this question is thrown at you? Why should we reject you? Of course, there has to be something that I need to speak on. Then, in these kind of scenarios, diplomatic answer. Because I came across this question multiple times, and every time I tried to answer it, the person interviewing it had a different opinion on it. And that's the reason I'm not able to come to a conclusion, because I booked it through the HR slot. But I mean, there was a certain level of dilemma in this answer. So I am unable to understand what exactly needs to be said.
So, see, Nikunj, primarily, as I told you, we would, discuss this, and there is this dilemma because different people would approach it differently. Okay. Why should we reject you? Can be anything. Can be, for example, let's say some of your weaknesses that you can talk about. A few things that you believe, is are a few things that might be a little difficult for you to, or which might intervene in your growth, within the college also, and then later on as well. For example, let's say a lot of people have inability to delegate. They're not able to delegate well. They think that, okay, if I will do the best. If I pass it on to my team, they will make a mess out of it. Correct? So that is a weakness. Now, you inside the college also, you have to work on projects. You have to work together. Whenever there are group projects, you will have to do the work properly. There will be delegation also, right? So one thing to make sure is that that is one weakness that you talk about, and then you talk about what are you doing about it. So you should say that if there is a reason why I should get selected, I should get rejected, then this may be a reason. However, I believe that I am working on it, and this is what I am doing in terms of improving. Correct. So that is one way to go about it. At the same time, there should be no comparisons. Okay, saying that if if you think that the other people are better, then please reject me. It's not a way of answering that question. Correct. So talk about some of the mild weaknesses that might sort of help out. In fact, we've discussed that in the HR questions also. Okay, so just watch that HR Q&A session properly, Nikunj.
So,
Sir,
if I may, so just a very small continuation on the question Nikunj asked. So, if you're thrown this question where you have to choose someone and you've not particularly been asked, ki, go ahead and choose someone besides yourself, and you choose yourself, doesn't it come off a bit conceited or overconfident?
No, it's perfectly fine. You are here to clear your interview. It's perfectly fine. I mean, personally, if I were asked this question, I would select myself.
Okay,
It's okay.
despite whatever
But yeah,
circumstances.
yeah, that's okay. See, throughout the interview, you should be humble, but you have to be assertive, I
Hmm.
think if you see SPJIMR's core values, it's courage and heart, right? You can't have only heart, you have to have courage also. So just remember they will test you for heart and they will test you for courage, right?
Hmm.
And you can be polite and you can be humble and still you can choose yourself. Say that I performed well, I deserve a seat at SPJIMR. It's perfectly fine. You've worked hard for it, you've cracked exams, you've had the interview, you've done given proper answers. You, it's good. So you should select yourself.
And
Nothing wrong.
just one small thing where I noticed that apart from me, I made this mistake as well. Apart from me, a few of us also said that hey, we were working after graduation, and right after graduation, we quit our job in April, May, and then we are studying or preparing for this exam. Usually, isn't this answer for not particular? It's particular. It's looked down upon, right? Is to say that you quit your job to prepare for an exam and now you're here. So basically, you've not been doing much over the last 6, 8 months aside, besides actually preparing for one single exam, which they often look at as being an exam where you don't particularly need to set aside your job, sit at home 24 hours and prepare for this. So if you actually go ahead and say this out loud, how do you actually navigate the situation then?
Nee, so if you are saying this out loud and then the questions would be on, why did you do that? And what did you do in that gap year, etc. Right? So you have to think, little bit deep into it. And see, I'll tell you something. There is nothing which is objectively right or objectively wrong. It depends
Hmm.
on how you say it. I have known batchmates who have taken couple of years, after college, they've taken career breaks. They are freshers, but for a couple of years they didn't do anything much. They were exploring, and then they ended up being at SPJIMR. So it depends on what you did in that break hours. I've seen people who prepare for UPSC for a couple of years, and then they come back, they write CAT, and then they get into MBA or something. You will have different versions of story. There are people who, along with some of the friends, etc., they want to start, they want to do a startup or they want to start something of their own. They put in they had some ideas when they were doing engineering or something, and it failed, it didn't work out, and then they end up doing MBA or something. You will have different versions and different routes. So it's unique to you, but you just have to
So
you have to, you should not come out, I'll tell you what you should not come out as. You should not come out as someone who's lazy, who didn't try out much, who kind of wasted years. And also, there's one more thing they will test is, for example, if they give you a seat at SPJIMR, right? After a year, what if you leave the campus and then you become a dropout and then you do something else? They'll try and test that because they don't want to waste a seat on you, right? If you're gonna drop out or something. So then they'll ask more questions on, why did you do that? How was your engineering? Did you like engineering or not? Uh, you know, you will have questions around in those areas. So you have to think and prepare answers for that.
So basically, it's a
But
no-go. You can't particularly say that I actually took a break because I thought this is an exam which I couldn't crack if I
no,
didn't.
don't say that. You see, that's that. Well, I'll tell you what is the problem with that answer. It's honest, but the problem is it sounds like uh, it's very passive.
Yeah, it
It's not
also says
showing
that
the
you can't multitask.
yeah. It is not showing you the urge, for you to handle things. Or it's very weak. That's what I would say. Saying that, I took a break, I just prepared only for CAT. Had it been UPSC, it's different. People take that break. And for UPSC, it's difficult to, manage job because of the intensity of exam. While for CAT, it's not that tough to do, right? So that kind of questions your rigor, questions your academic inclination, saying that, will this guy handle, because the curriculum of MBA stuff, you will have to spend 16, 17 hours a day. There are a few months which are very tough in MBA. So they will test you. Does this guy has the rigor to do it? Or will he flunk, after 2, 3 months of pressure at MBA, will he just run off? All these things will come to the interviewer's mind. And you just have a half an hour window to judge you, right? So it could be a wrong judgment from their part, but end of the day, it's a rejection for you, right? So,
Okay.
So can I go ahead?
Yes.
yeah.
Sir, you asked someone about who was responsible. Who do you think is responsible for the Team India losing, right? So the people who know about cricket would be able to answer it to some extent. But for someone like me, if I don't know anything about cricket, I don't follow cricket as such. So should I be objective, like I don't follow cricket and move on, or should I give specific like some reason?
If you don't know the game, if you don't know the rules of game, then you can't make a decision or you can't have a opinion, right? Uh, so it's perfectly okay. That's why I also ask a question, let's say if you know about cricket or something, you guys can answer it. If not, it's okay, perfectly fine. We will have other questions in which you can contribute. But ensure if there are 2, 3 different topics, you see what happens is like one could be cricket, one could be politics, one could be economics, one could be a ethical dilemma. One thing, make sure you don't end up saying that, sorry, I don't follow politics, sorry, I don't follow cricket, sorry, I don't follow economics, you know. So ensure you don't say no to all those things, because then it'll be like, hey, what does he know? Well, imagine the guy who's not interested in cricket, who's not interested in politics, who's not interested in music, who's not interested in movies. मतलब कर क्या रहा है? मतलब what is what is the guy interested in? So don't come out as that person. But saying no for a particular thing is still okay. There's no problem to it.
Okay,
It's fair. It's perfectly fine. You don't know
perfect.
cricket, you don't know cricket. It's okay.
And also, Sarvagya, to add to Patty's point, they give you enough opportunities and test you. Okay.
Yeah.
So that certainly happens. So they would also want to not miss out on a good candidate. Okay.
Got it.
So do not worry if in case, let's say, there is one point wherein you did not answer too well. There are other elements that you can really do well and capitalize.
Yeah. See, because I've seen this happening in interviews also, there's a candidate, see, I sat in multiple interviews also as part of admissions committee. It's a fun thing to do. Just observe how people answer and all. It's a fun thing. Still do that. So there's a guy, it's a good incident, who did not answer a lot of questions, but, he had a strong profile and all. So the interviewer finally asked him, what are your interests? He has a very direct question. And then he gave a very strong, is a supply chain background or something, still remember, he gave a very tough thing which he did at work or something. And then the interview started probing on those, etc. And it turned out that he was talking for about close to 6, 7 minutes on that answer, and it was a very sound technical answer, and he got selected towards the end. So, in the thing with SPJIMR, which is really love about is that, the interviewers, if you're not, getting into it or something, they'll give you opportunity, they will ask you questions, what do you want to discuss about, what have you done, etc. So you will have sufficient time in which you can express your interest, problems you have solved, what are things which you want to come across as, you will get that. So keep few things ready with you. It need not be cricket, but there has to be something.
Got it.
Yeah.
So just to follow up on that question, there was another question, no, not a follow up basically. There was another question which you asked, was about the salary and the role, right? Someone said that I want to be into product management. Then I'll be, I want only this salary, and I'll then only go to product management. Then you asked me this question, do you agree with this? Then I said I don't agree with this because it's at some point the purpose matters. Then I assumed that it was prior to MBA. Then I asked you, okay, post MBA, I'll still cut down the salary a bit, and then I'll go ahead. Was it a good answer, or how should you approach this?
No, see, if you're not very clear, if you're ambiguous on the question or something, you can ask them, sir, is it pre-MBA or post-MBA? What are you referring to or something? Since it's
Okay.
virtual, there could be internet connection or something. You would have missed my voice or something like that could have happened. So first, you ask, what's this? You can ask, whether this is the question, am I understanding right? You can ask that. That's perfectly okay. And see, this is a common dilemma question you will face between money and role, right? You can't lean towards one particular side. It has to go hand in hand. Like the structure you can follow is saying that I have three drivers or something. The two being, whatever is your MBA, why you want to do, etc. And money is also a thing. Money is not evil. Understand this, because there's a lot of assumptions you guys have. SPJIMR values. Money is not good. Don't talk about money. No, money is good, right? There's no problem with earning more. There's no problem with the ambition that I want to earn more money, right? But but there are certain things I want to do, and money is a byproduct of that. I don't know. I'm not gonna pay 25, 30 lakhs to an MBA institute and then say that I'm gonna pick a 5, 10 lakh job or something, right? How will you repay the education loan in the first place if you have taken, So money is needed. There is nothing wrong saying that, you go for money. But ensure you don't come out as someone who will say that, if someone offers me 10 crores or 1 crore for a role which I really hate, you would have put it in a form or you would have told this in an interview or something, then don't make that trade-off.
Okay.
Right? See, these are all hypothetical questions. They try to put you in scenarios to test where's your true inclination lie? What's your true purpose? Right? Ensure you just don't contradict yourself. Don't say money is not important in the first line and then next time say like, Acha, 1 crore ke liye to, then I'll think about it. You can't have slabs, You can't say like, I'm okay till 35, if it is 60, then, maybe my order changes. If it is 85, then it changes. Don't make that thing. Because the people make that. They make that. They think it's very, being very casual about it or something, but it's a strong red flag,
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So just one last question from my end. Sir, I figured that Sudhanshu sir would ask me a lot of questions on music what levels do I have to prepare and go back to the basics? Because I don't remember a lot of stuff. Level 1, level 2, or
So see, primarily if you mention tabla, you should know at least the tals, correct?
Right. Perfect.
Right. So at least should know that. That is the most basic. In fact, I asked you teen tal because that's the most basic.
Right.
Correct. So the next question, if you know, tell me, what is teen tal? I'll ask you how many beats are there.
Okay.
How many tali? How many khali? Correct.
Got it.
So know a few tals there. correct? Some basics should know, correct?
Yeah.
Similarly, I asked you very simple question in terms of, guitar primarily
Chords.
because you mentioned that you were a beginner, right?
Right.
So, but know that also a little bit. What's, if let's say you mentioned Trinity College London, correct?
Right.
So understand, no, what is a lead, what's a chord, what's the definition of a chord, correct?
Right. Right.
So
Perfect.
absolute basics. See, it's not expected that you will, know everything in detail, right? So, do a little bit of research, go back to your basics, and I would say this process is so amazing because it really helps us connect with ourselves. बहुत सारी चीजें जो हमने थोड़ी बहुत छोड़ दी हैं वो वापस आ जाती हैं धीरे धीरे, correct? So I think that
Got
is something that you should do. I believe that we'll do well.
it. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
So a question from my part.
Yeah.
Like I was asked that why will I not be pursuing teaching as my career? And I got stuck, tried to defend myself. So what should have been the best possible way to go about that?
See,
Yeah.
Dibanshu, where do you go
No,
ahead?
Sudhanshu, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
See, primarily, Dibanshu, the idea is that you should effectively believe your answer. What while I was observing and Patty was asking the question, I believe the conviction was lacking. Correct. Again, there is nothing which is very objectively right or wrong about it. But I am saying something I do not believe it, and it is very clearly visible on my face. Correct. So why do you think it is not the right career opportunity for you? Why do you think MBA is the right career opportunity? Be very clear about it. And for that, see, there is no right answer that any of us can give you for that. You have to introspect. And therefore, for everybody, do the HR questions very well, introspect well, do the HR review properly. But, and first, get into that cycle of thinking. So why am I, doing this? I have to be very clear. There is nobody who can really give you that YMB answer. Right? Somebody can give you structure that, hey, this is not how you should write it. You should write it this way. Correct? Maybe, put an example like this. Correct, Dibanshu? But it is you who has to convince yourself that this is the right path. And then that conviction has to come on your face while you're talking about it. Correct?
Yeah.
And sir, about that, why should we reject you? Will this be a good option for me, like to portray my strengths and then say that if these qualities don't fit into the SPJN culture, then I'm not a perfect fit?
No,
Not at all.
no.
Not at all.
This is not like, asking what's your weakness and saying that I work very hard, that, I work for 18, 20 hours, I forgot to go home and all. No, no. So, my family misses me or something. That's not the weakness, right? You don't have to portray your strength in a disguise as weakness. Like, don't do that.
Okay.
Be very honest. Don't do the shadowing. Don't do this cover up because SPJIMR, they reject candidates who do this very upfront. However great your CAT percentile be, etc., it's a straight rejection. So don't do that.
And sir, when I was asked about like who is to be blamed for the loss of the Indian team, I said the selectors, and you replied back that blame the CEO. That's fine. So
Yeah. So see those kind of questions. I mean, it will happen, but you just have to have strong reasons to it. See, the fact of the matter is it's not one person's fault, but you'll be forced to answer such questions, because this is a scenario which keeps happening in corporate world. Like, there's a famous dilemma question. A product failure can happen, or you'll not be able to deliver your bottom line or top line. Who is to blame? You blame the CEO for strategic calls, or do you blame the guys who are executing it, or do you blame a particular function? Let's say finance says that marketing didn't do well, marketing says operations didn't deliver the product, or they say that this whole product idea was a problem, R&D is to blame. these are like common questions you can expect. So the way you answer or go about it is like think in a proper structure and saying that this is the reason. Be very objective. Try to be as objective as possible. Rishabh gave some data points which was good. Try to back it up back with some data points to this particular answer or something. It's that way. It also gives you a peek into your personality and your thinking. Okay, what does this guy think? Does he say that the selectors picked the wrong team or the team which played is bad? There could be right and wrong, but you just have to have strong reasons to it.
Yeah. And also do
Thank
not
you.
try to assess whether my interview is going in the right direction. You just give your best.
Yeah,
Okay, do not take
don't be
readings.
doubtful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do not take readings basis, the the inputs given by the interviewer during that discussion.
yeah, valid point. For
Thank
example,
you, sir.
Devanshu, it's very, very critical. I think a minute into the interview, we could see that you are lacking confidence. In the first statement you made on Isha, whatever she told the summary when you were summarizing or something, I could see that you don't have confidence, in your answers or something. You feel like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm stuck in this room. I just want to move out. Don't give that vibe, be very passionate, have a strong tone, and then have some conviction in your answer. You will not be able to see your body language, how you perform, etc. But the interviewers can easily see that through, saying that, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Isha, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. So actually, in my profile also, teaching is there. So to tell about myself, even I left my job in the month of May, and I've been preparing for CAT, so I have a gap year. But for the past 8 months, I've been teaching as a tutor of physics and maths in one of the private coaching
Yeah,
classes
I
near
wanted
my
to ask some
home.
questions on physics, but
And then I have also part of an institute called as CFI, Teach for India, which as a volunteer. So actually, I didn't disclose that point, being a reason कि only if I'm asked about the gap, I'll put it as a cover. But then, as you asked, Devanshu, right, if I'm not wrong, that why not pursue the same as a career option and why join MBA? So even that same particular question crossed my mind as well. So like, how would you go about it?
Why will he go about it? It's a question to you, Isha.
No, no. So actually, it got me thinking.
Isha, don't think. You are breathing, right? Why don't you be a breather? It can be a question. Become a breather, full-time breather. Don't do anything, breathe. Right? So see, the point very simply is do not get, so confused. Get your clarity, in terms of this is exactly what I'm doing. So that's the point. Sit down, सोच लो पहले अच्छे से कि भाई मुझे यही करना है. ठीक है. अदरवाइज कोई बोलेगा कि यार फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से तुमने हैव यू वॉच दैट मूवी वाज लाइक यस हाउ वाज दैट मूवी यू आर लाइक गुड व्हाई डोंट यू आल्सो परस्यू becoming a celebrity. There can be so
yeah.
many questions, right? You think about it. If you start getting confused, then there are so many situations that we can create.
No, so that is correct. But that got me thinking that it was better, it was good that I did not disclose it in my tell me about yourself.
If you disclose it, even if you disclose it, there is nothing wrong about it. But the point is कि whether you are clear as to why are you wanting to do an MBA or not.
Correct,
You might disclose that okay, you are good with cooking also. So what? We can tell you why don't you become a full-time cook or a chef? Then what? We're like, okay, I'm now confused again. Right? Don't do that. Be very clear.
So you can ask 10 questions on that basis your form. Why can't you become a teacher? Why can't you become a chef? Why can't you become a musician? And if someone answers questions on electrical engineering top notch, then you can say that why don't you perform, do masters in electrical engineering? We can ask hundreds of questions, it's just ask one. You can ask hundreds of questions, but the moment you have clarity on, why you want to do MBA, this is what I want to do, these are my reasons, and this is what I want to do. You have that clarity, then every question can be answered, saying that, no, this is what I want to do. I just have interest on all those other things, etc. Right.
Yeah, go ahead, Sushant.
Yeah. So my answer to why MBA, from the feedback I got, was a little too specific, right? But honestly speaking, so I have this problem statement that is very genuine. I didn't Google it anywhere. That I have worked in two types of organization. One was a startup culture, and the other is in the big MNC. So at both places, I noticed this, that there are there are I would not say some, but many technical gaps between the actual development work which is going at our level, that the work I am doing right now with my technical team, and the ones who are sitting above us, who are taking the decisions that, how will the product go and what the work will be delivered. So my main motive is to, for MBA is this only, that I trust my technical expertise. So I just want a good business school to give me that business knowledge, so that I can bridge this gap. So like, how should I comprehend this answer more, so that it should not be specific?
See, I mean, Shrivan, this is the answer I've been hearing for the last 10 years. It's a very standard answer every engineer gives, saying that I've got technical skills, I want business skills, I want to do MBA. This is very standard. The moment you start your answer, they will know this is the story you're going to say, right?
Okay.
And then you will become, one among those, those standard textbook answer people, right? I think the advice or suggestion I have from my end is that first, don't get into those detailing first itself. Like, don't start your answer saying that, I've worked in one startup and one MNC. How does it matter? And then why are you trying to find common thread in both the things or something, right? First write down pointers, write down, analyze your life, saying that, what all things you've done from your childhood till here, right? And then put those pointers. What did you love about? What are you good at? What have you achieved in your work experience, etc. Put on all those pointers. You'll have some 10, 15 pointers. Then put it in a paper and then see what is your life telling you. And then you will find a thread and then say that what is the spec you want to go into, and then what are the roles, like I told earlier, what are the roles which are available. Try and match these things, right? And then you will find a story. Then once a story is there, then you can alter it and you can put in context, saying that how do you want to start, how do you want to end. But once you have a story, you will know how should I start, how should I end, right? So that the clarity will get once you have the story with you, right? Or else, this is a very standard answer you have. This is the first answer which everyone will have. And then the moment you start digging up your life, etc., then you will know, okay, fine, there is a lot to, Sushant as a person, right? And then you will have a story which will convince you. The story will convince you. You will get convinced, saying that, okay, fine, I've got my answer. Then you will get the confidence, saying that, okay, fine, I've got it. Now I'm confident. This is what I'm going to say. Whatever the interviewer is going to give me scenarios, etc., I'm going to stick to this answer.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yes. Also, one more point, Sushant. Do not say that people above me are crazy. They do not know anything.
Yeah, that I.
Yeah. So do not
yeah.
start by blaming people.
Yeah.
Right? So that is not the right way to go. I think you should have your own reasons and strong enough to back it up. I can see that you are yet to do your HR review as well.
Yeah.
You should do it tomorrow, as in today.
Yeah. Also, I had just a small question. So I did my graduation in electronics and communication engineering. Then I have a profile of Java developer. So can I expect this question that why would you why, like after graduation, why did not you go for masters in electronics or some electronic grad concepts? Because to be honest, as of now, it has been almost 4 years, not 4, 3.5 plus. So I don't remember my EC subjects. And honest answer for why did not I go for masters? Very honestly, very bluntly, I appear for GATE and I failed. And then the second option was my strong option was Java. So I went for Java, and fortunately, I liked it.
Okay. So one good thing I'll tell you, it's 3.5, 4 years, then you don't have to be strong in undergrad subjects. The same thing. Pick one, two subjects which you love, and then say that you can question me on those. If you're fresher, then you will be expected a lot of questions in undergrad. So don't worry on that. And while on Java, etc., you say your interest in coding or something. There has to be something you like about. You love. You said that you ended up loving
I'm
what you're
confident
doing,
that
right?
that I'll be able to answer that.
Yeah. So mention some of the passion or the liking you have towards coding, software, building products, etc. How it helps you become a product manager in future after getting MBA, etc. Try and link that story. That is more credible, right? Don't worry on EC subjects or something. You can say it's been 4 years. I don't remember much. That's perfectly okay. No one's gonna ask you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
See,
Yes.
until unless you talk a lot about engineering, you keep talking about engineering. I love electronics. I love electrical, etc. Then it will be expected questions from you.
Yeah, that I won't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh,
Sir, I had one question. Sir, if someone has a finance call or operations call, he knows the structure which he has to follow, the things which he needs to read about. But I got a BM call. So what do I need to follow, or the pain points that I didn't mention about? Tell me about yourself. So what do I need to take care of for this?
So BM is general management. Uh, I think it's again the Y MBA. It's a very generic business thing. But one thing I would advise is you should have certain things in mind, saying that what kind of, you can't say that I'll get into MBA and then after a year or something I'll figure out what I want to do. So you should have at least few things. Get into consults, or you want to get into marketing. You want to specialize where you should have some kind of thoughts in mind. Yeah, because see, imagine now you're spending 25 lakhs into it, right? So you will not blindly spend 25 lakhs of your money, right? So you will definitely think a lot on it. So it's the same thing, right? You're gonna put 2 years of your life, you're gonna put huge amount of money into it. So what do you want to do after doing MBA? You should have some kind of idea. It should not be like, whatever I do, I'm gonna get 30, 40 lakhs of money. That should not be the case, right? So put some thoughts into it, saying that what are your interest area, where do you see yourself working, what kind of domains you'll be working post MBA, what kind of companies. You will have all the list of companies which have come for placements, etc. Pick some companies, pick some favorite brands, favorite companies, what kind of roles you want to do into. Have all those things with you. So every interviewer likes candidates who are well prepared, who have done their homework, who knows their stuff, who have clarity. That's what they are looking for.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So guys, I also believe that it also might take a little time. So do not worry too much. I would say, although it is important on our part to give you inputs and feedbacks, but also we have to go back, we have to work hard, and then we'll keep coming back to make sure that we are improving, right? So take it on a positive note and work hard towards it, towards improving it. Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I think thank you so much everybody for participating. You know, I think you've all been great at taking feedbacks also.
Yeah. Thank you all. See you all the best.
Thanks a lot, sir.
All
Thanks
the
a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.